and touch the sky. A star's light shines on long after it dies. Oh, in the night, I live every day as if it's your last. All memories been bright like beacons of the past. Oh, in the night, now we race against the sun. Now we race against the Now we race against the sun. Now we race against the race against the sun. Now we race against the sun. Race against the sun. Now we race against the sun. Now we race against the sun. Now we race against the sun. Ooh.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Goose Dungeon. My name is Bern, if you don't know me, but hopefully you do. And we've been planning this stream for quite a while now. So, if you're not aware, we did ask around the community about who was interested in D&D, and we have finally come up with a plan to give everyone an amazing D&D experience. Um, the point of today's stream is aimed at one, showing off the community, and two, to kind of teach people who don't know about D&D but who are really interested about the basics of it and just how it kind of feels to play. Um we saw when we were just asking around that a lot of people haven't, but they really want to get involved. So, we came up with a plan to kind of help as many people as we see to find their own groups and just organize themselves. So today's stream, we will be just playing a campaign to show everyone how to play and how it feels and the whole D&D experience. And then after today, the plan is we will be helping everyone who's interested form their own groups. We won't be completely taking control, but the aim is to kind of get you guys to meet new people, meet maybe even just get together with your friends that you already have and just get to experience D&D for the first time or again, if so. So, we've already got quite a few dungeon masters who volunteered and said they'd be happy to run campaigns. So hopefully everyone who's interested will get a chance to play. And for today, we've got a lovely group of people for this campaign. So, let's introduce the group. Perfect. So, below me, we have the lovely Feeble Excuses. On the opposite side of me, we have Alex or FP Rising. Um, Below Alex, we have Wish, a mod for TGH, and below Wish, we have Lay or Crywolf, um, another mod for TGH. And in the middle, we have our very special dungeon master, Robin, here to give us a wonderful experience. So, Robin, do you want to give us really an introduction to D&D?
Sure thing. So, as Bern said, I'm Robin. I'm going to be our dungeon master for tonight's little story that we're going to run through with all of you. Hopefully, you all enjoyed as much as I've enjoyed making it, and we can sort of go from there. The game we're going to be playing is Dungeons and Dragons. We're playing the 5th edition as released by Wizards of the Coast. Now, if you don't know what Dungeons and Dragons is, then, well, for one, I feel sorry if you pulling into a D&D stream and this is going to be your first experience. You're braver than I am, but we welcome all, so hopefully you can have a good experience anyway. Dungeons and Dragons is a tabletop role-playing action-adventure game, and what that means is that we're going to have a long story, and we're going to collectively tell it all together. As the dungeon master, I will be the guide, taking you through all the character interactions, the world setting, and generally everything that happens. Then we have our lovely players here, all of which have their own individual characters and will be helping us out along the way and chiming in when they can. And yeah, I suppose without further addition, we can really get into tonight's game. Our story starts long ago, far before. Is our sorry, I'm just dealing with a lovely technical issue because I'm sure it wouldn't be Dungeons and Dragons without it. I don't think our bot is going.
Music. It is not. You've here. Let me do it for you.
Haha, thank you, appreciate it.
You just put the M and the exclamation point the wrong way around.
There we go, easy peasy. So our story begins long ago, before time itself. Going through the astral sea, there were three magnificent creatures, channeling their ways. In modern days, we'd know these creatures as dragons, gargantuan in size, bigger than houses, bigger than towns even, colossal in their very nature. These three dragons, Siberius, Ebron, and Kyber, roamed the astral sea for days, eventually stopping at a single point, deciding they wanted to use their power, use their innate magic to create something new. They banded together and with their strength created what we now know as the material realm. A creation of land, water, sky, and magic. Something similar and akin to what we have on Earth now, but in our world, it's slightly different. This continued in peace and prosperity, with each adding their own additions. Siberius adding the stars in the sky, adding the galaxies beyond. Eberron making the very earth of the ground, and the oceans beneath. Kyber grew jealous of their creations, and slowly there was a deterioration between these two siblings. Kyber specifically sought out Siberius. In an act of jealous rage, Kyber struck at Siberius, casting blood into the astral plane. Wounded, but not yet forgotten, Siberius fled into the astral plane, followed by Eberron, seeking to find out what happened. Unfortunately, Siberius's wounds were too severe. As Siberius lay dying, they let out a crying breath, a screech so powerful and with such force, it caused splits in the very astral sea, leading to openings to other planes, other multiverses of reality. And Siberius themselves disappeared into the ether. Eberron sought out Kyber, and in a fit of rage, cast himself around Kyber, swelling to 3 or 4 times in size and encasing Kyber in a prison of Eberron's own body. Everyone knows the story of the creation. This led to something that we couldn't have expected, though. As the years went on, as time progressed, Eberron started to form with the material plane itself, casting the earth it once created over its own body, casting the seas that surrounded it into its very essence. And slowly, with this magma of magical energy at its core, life started to emerge on Eberron, leading to the continents we know today, and eventually to the characters we'll meet. So, launching forward into the present, we join ourselves on the continent of Coromir. We find ourselves in a land filled with magic. In its very essence, it's commonplace. Your friend lives on the other side in a different city? Simply pick up a sending stone, send them a message. The land, once riddled by war, is now at a time of peace, having multiple different attributes and multiple different factions. 7 years ago, the Treaty of Thronehold created a council made up of the continental members of Aunda, Breland, Kareth, Thrain, and Sire. These 5 councils work together to make the continent a safe place, combining it and building infrastructure spanning the entire continent. Suddenly, traveling from one end to the other didn't seem as difficult with the likes of the lightning rail. A very specific machination that, similar to a modern day train, is powered by what seems to be sheer lightning energy itself. Rising 5-10 feet off the rails, it travels across the continent. And it is here that we join our adventurers, traveling from the southern city of Zollenberg all the way through north across the World End Mountains going towards Staliska. As we zoom in onto this train, we sort of feel a large machination. It's metallic in nature. There are several windows spanning the exterior. Small makeshift seats have been made for those who have cottoned passage. The landscape outside revolves and travels fast. There's a lot to see. Each of you find yourselves in this train in some form or another. A lowly ticket inspector sort of wanders down the hallway, sort of looking across, looking out at these seats and seeing a machination of different characters. The interior is warmly lit by two braziers fastened to the ceiling that seem to be giving off a magical flare, fire, giving its own flare. As he walks down the main cabin, he comes across two curious creatures sitting and, I can only imagine, bickering together. Bern, could I please have an introduction and a description of what your character looks like?
So my character is a green dragonborn. So a scaly humanoid creature sitting down, man spreading, arms on his knees, just shoulders out, staring down at this little thing next to him, very angrily, almost scowling as he's talking, while they're bickering between each other.
Sitting, only I imagine, next to your character is a much smaller creature. And, Feeble, would you like to give us an introduction to your character? Oh, sorry, not. I do
Not Feeble.
apologize, not Feeble. Sorry. Alex, regardless.
Bella is a fairy girl. She is very young and is still very impressionable. And as she is bickering, she is very, very noisy. She is probably dragging a lot of attention.
Hey, lovely. So, what sort of give me a little bit of insight into this conversation? What are you both talking about?
What do you mean you're uncomfortable on the train? This is great. This is so much better than the boat. We got lucky that those two little people were kind enough to give us their tickets.
Threaten them! You
No, I asked nicely. I was friendly.
It's as you say the words friendly and they fall out of your mouth that sort of you feel a pair of beady eyes watching you, and looking over you see a tall elven woman. Their hair pulled into a tight bob. It is graying with age and their eyes are a little bit sunken. And they seem to be glaring at you, holding what looks to be a checklist in their hand. So, tickets, please.
One sec. What? Here.
Yes. You and for yourself?
What? Just give her your ticket. Just give her your. Oh, right. So wait. Here you go. Sorry.
Thank
She's
you.
She's a little lost, so I have to hold on to stuff.
I understand. It is often that way with the little ones, and
I'm not that little.
Bartez and Orana Seaform. That's you two.
Yes.
Both with the same last name. So you two are married? Father, child?
She's adopted.
Right. Funny Seaform. It's a halfling name by nature, no?
She's small, isn't she?
I was more referring to sort of gives you a glance up and down in your dragonborn form.
He's catching on to us.
Is there an issue?
I am simply inquiring about these tickets. You're sure these are not one of the other passengers that you seem to have gotten a hold of accidentally, of course.
I don't understand.
Right.
Is there an issue with the tickets?
No, technically, no. And she sort of folds them sort of slightly. Pulls out a little machine, there's a little click into it, and hands them back to you, sort of staring at you vividly.
I'm just gonna take the tickets. Give him to Bella. I just go, see? In Draconic. See? My smooth talking works all the time.
Right. Yeah, back in Draconic, but she's like, yeah, so yeah, that's smooth. Right,
Yeah,
got it.
it
Yeah.
worked, didn't it? Stop whining.
As
that
the ticket inspector sort of continues up through the carriage, occasionally taking looks back down the carriage towards you two, still very curious, very unsure, they come to a blue elven figure. Lee, sitting at the next set of tables up, would you please describe a little bit about your character?
My character's name is Crescent, and she is a sea elf. So you can imagine her having very pointy ears, blue skin, blue hair, almost like it's the ocean itself, but it's not quite water. Very ladylike in her posture. The woman's on a mission.
Lovely. So are you doing anything specific as you're sitting in this train? Are you working on anything perhaps?
Oh, I am deep in my books, researching and studying for what I'm heading on this train for.
Hey, so this stout elven woman, she sort of looks over and goes, "Ah, if you wouldn't mind, tickets please." And she says so in Elvish, obviously, clocking your demeanor.
Of course. Here is my ticket. There should be no issues with mine.
Oh, you overheard that, did you?
They are quite loud with their bickering.
It seems that way. People think they can get away with anything, but it's okay. They seem sweet enough, harmless, really.
Yes, you were too kind in the situation.
What do you think? You think I pull off the mean demeanor a bit better sometimes?
It would definitely suit your job more.
I appreciate it. Here's your ticket. I hope you have a lovely rest of your trip, and do let me know if I can be of any help.
Thank you so much. You're too kind.
Not a problem at all. And sort of standing up and sort of walking away. One more glance back towards Valig and Bella, sort of looking a bit suspicious, but there's a little smile that sort of peeks over. And yeah, as she continues forward, right to the front of the carriage, she comes across the last one of our adventurers still in this portion of the train. Feeble, would you like to describe your character for us?
Sure. So Oldiel is basically with her nose right up to the window, just looking outside, completely entranced with everything that she's seeing. She's got like long white hair, and there's literal flowers and leaves growing out of her hair. And as the ticket spender comes around, she was like, "Ah, my ticket. Yes, sure." And it starts like throwing stuff out of the bag. There's like books and things.
right,
It's here. I promise.
yes.
I promise.
Okay, I mean, like, this is not urgent. Don't worry, dear. It's going to be okay. She's sort of looking around at all the things you're throwing out of your bag and goes, "At least you didn't pack light for your trip."
Well, it kind of caught me by surprise. So this is kind of what I had on me at the time. So yeah, here you go. My ticket.
Thank you. Right, seems to be in order. I don't see a stop point on this. Are you heading to Stalaska, or further beyond?
Let's see where things take me. I think at the moment, I'm new to this area, so yeah. They pointed me in this direction to do some research, so.
Sure. I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine. Are you going to be okay with all of your belongings, which are just strewn over your chair, the chair in front of you? They're just completely covering the cabin.
Sure. Yeah, I'll put them back. Like she starts putting them back, and then just gets distracted by things that like keep on going outside, and then keeps like looking out, and just like sticks her hand out to get the ticket as she's like trying to do like 10 things at the same time.
Perfect. She sort of folds the ticket, clips it with her machine again, and sort of hands it back and goes, Don't worry, it's there's not too many of you on today, so it's really not the most stressful of days, so you don't have to worry too much. I'm sure it'll be all okay. And it's as she's in this middle of conversation with you that those of you in the train edge sort of clock through, or sort of walking from the back of the cabin, is a large armored figure with a single crest on upon their chests. Those of you who are sitting in the back, I think seeing as I'd say Valig and Bella would see this character first. Do both of you want to give me a history check? Our first rolls of the night that we
sure.
can use to see if you identify what this marking is.
I'm pretty sure this is a -2.
Yeah. So for
Oh
those
no!
for those who aren't aware, sort of in D&D, we use dice as a really a generation point for our stats and figuring out how things work. So in this instance, our two players have seen a dice right there. Seen a marking, and there's a chance that they know what this marking means. There's a chance they don't. So we roll a 20-sided dice, and that gives us a score, and that may be influenced by some of their own personal skills. How these influences are made are predetermined in the character creation point, and the result of this roll will basically decide how much they know. And from Alex's laughing, I'm sure our first roll of the campaign has gone flawlessly.
What's your role, Alex? You go first.
One? That one?
Oh no!
Nice. Wonderful. No, it's a good way to kick it off.
Great. So we have a nat one from Alex and
I've
Beth.
rolled a 17, but -2, so 15.
15. 15's still pretty good, I
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
say. So we'll start with Alex. Alex, you're looking at this sigil. You're not really from around here. You haven't seen too many of these things before. You haven't heard too much about it. And looking at it, it does ring one bell. You have read a childhood story about the death cult of Hazar, merciless assassins who traveled the world, kidnapping small children who didn't eat their dinner. And looking at it, it's impeccable. It matches perfectly to what you remember that symbol being. So in this very moment, you are certain this is one of the death cult of Hazar, who is here to steal children for not eating their dinner. Balig, you on the other hand, a bit more seasoned, a bit more traveled in these parts of the world. Looking at it, you see a standard lightning bearer's dragon mark, something that dictates that they are belonging to the company of the lightning rail, and someone that is probably part of the security detail up on board. Although you haven't seen them in your voyage so far, you have now. This armored figure. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Do I notice Bella's reaction?
I mean, Bella, what are you doing in response to this information? Sort of seeing this mark, what is your immediate reaction?
I'm definitely freaking out. There are definitely some other things going on in my brain. I'm definitely trying to move a bit closer to the edge. Like, not like towards the edge, but like closer to my dear traveling companion in an attempt to get away. Very awkwardly.
But obviously, if you have a reaction to that, that's absolutely fine.
I'm gonna just look down at Bella's like, why are you touching me? What is? That's it.
This large armored figure continues towards the front of the cart and sort of grabs hold of like the sort of the tunic of the ticket inspector, and in a rather gruff voice, and I would say that Crescent and Odell, this is something that you two over here, just due to your proximity, you're further forward, and Valig and Bella, you struggle a bit more to sort of pick out the specifics, but sort of grabs the tunic and says, Lisa, I think we've got a problem in the cargo bay. Something's not right. I think we're gonna need to check it out. If you could, get word to the other guards, that would be really. I've never seen anything like this. It's kind of scaring the shit out of me. And she sort of looks a bit taken aback, and she goes, "Just something in the cargo bay. Something good, I'm sure." And sort of looking at the two people who are obviously overhearing, and sort of saying something that our dear passengers don't need to worry about, I'm sure. And this guy you gather he's probably not one for social convention. He's probably not one for keeping things covert. He sort of goes, "No, I mean this is really fucking bad. Like this is something that could bring down the entire trip." Oh, he turns and faces the entire cart, and a lot of you get a good look at him for the first time. He's got a sort of a brown, scratchy beard, sort of shallow eyes. He seems to be, I'd say, probably mid-30s, going towards 40s, humanoid, many human features, you'd assume human. And he sort of says out, folks, it's nothing to worry about, I'm sure. Lightning Force security is on it. And he clocks you slightly, Valig, sort of with your large battle axe, I imagine, strewn over your shoulder, and he says, "Hey, I mean, don't suppose you're a fighter, are you?" I'm afraid you're gonna have to speak up a little bit there. I can't quite hear you.
Sorry. Right. Only gold turns me into a fighter.
Right. So looks at me. Look, I mean, open invitation. Really nothing too bad. But if anyone wants to join me to the cargo hold, I'll buy you all drinks at dinner. Everyone who comes.
I'm gonna immediately stand up.
My man, that's good. Anyone else?
I'm gonna pull Bella up.
Bella is doing everything she can to stay on the scene because she's still afraid of the man and 'cause she can't really understand what he's saying.
I'll drink her drink.
Yeah,
Sounds-
ODL just like goes straight for like the window, straight to like, yeah. Did someone say dinner? Yeah, I mean,
Right. Oh, I mean, are all of you gonna come? I mean, I don't want anyone to feel left out. I mean, what about you, water lady?
I place my books down in the seat next to me and take a stand. Sure, if you need some wisdom.
I'll take all the help I can get. And he sort of turns back towards the ticket lady and goes, "Lisa, look, I think we got this under control. Don't worry about telling the others. We'll be fine. Maybe still tell the others, but we'll be on our way." And he sort of walks to the back of the cart to the train doors and sort of beckons you all to follow. Are all of you doing so?
Yes.
Yes.
Sounds
Oh my
good.
God.
Just a note. I have put everyone that has been introduced. I've put their character sheets in the D&D channel in Discord. So if you guys are curious at all, you can go and see them there and just read about the details of our characters. So yeah.
Goose House
Sorry.
Discord, which you can, I imagine, find a link around here somewhere. I'm not too familiar. It's probably down there. We're gonna hope. So the large burly man, he sort of opens the first door at the back of the place, and immediately you're all greeted with a whirling noise of air, like sort of traveling right past the cabin, and it sort of is, "Make sure you mind your step out here," and it sort of clicks it forward, and it sort of opens the second one, sort of leading through to another cart, and you all sort of hop across into the next thing. So the cart you were previously in had a large array of seats. This one is quite different. It's a single narrow corridor with about 6 or 8 doors sort of manning it, and you've been told before that this is where you'll find your accommodation for the night. Those of you who are staying for a prolonged period and sort of staying aboard the night, you haven't yet had a chance to sleep on the train, but you each have separate rooms aboard here that you've been told exist. Haven't had a chance to view them yet, but you imagine this is where they'll be, and he sort of continues down. And going forward, he sort of turns back and he sort of goes, "My name is Mustafa, by the way. Pleasure to meet all of you.
hello. So do you are did it look like you're the security from this place?
I'm one of two, I'm afraid. My Kathnar, he's my partner in crime.
You only have 2 security guards on this train?
We only have 5 passengers aboard this train.
Do you count very often
Well,
with your
6.
passengers solving your issues? Or I'm new from here, so I don't know if this is like a standard thing that you guys do. I'm more than happy to help. But just wondering.
It's not common per se. I mean,
I personally would appreciate it if you didn't mention this to any of the survey team. They normally greet you at the end. They ask you to fill out a form on your experience about the lightning rail. It's completely optional. We just ask that you just don't mention this. Look, I'm sure it's nothing to worry about. I just saw something. Like, look, okay, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm a bit scared. I don't really want to go first. I walked into the cargo hold to do my daily patrol. Everything seemed to be normal, and then this large hulking figure must have been at least 12 foot tall, scraping against the ceiling. I I don't know what it was, but I'm pretty sure it was gonna attack me and murder me.
Please. Valeg's going to step forward towards the door and just open it. I bet it's smaller than me. I'm like 15 foot tall. I'm 6'2". So yeah, Valeg's just gonna burst through the door, grin
Yes,
on his face.
You burst through the first two sets of door, and Valeg, as you sort of open the door into the cargo hold, you're met with an array of boxes, consortiums, a few barrels, a few stacks and shelves. You see a small, looks like cage sort of breathing in. It's very hard to tell, simply because it's so dark in here, and you're not that great at seeing in the dark. But for the most part, you don't see any other figure. It just seems to be fairly opaque.
Hello.
Bella's just staying well behind, not even entered the room because he's
Whoa,
like,
what do you see in there?
Boxes.
Yeah, so you see how the boxes are piled up on the left hand side there? I'm pretty sure it was behind those boxes. So just around that corner. Be careful, man. I don't want anything to go wrong.
Um, right. I'm gonna pull out the great axe and just kind of walk towards it. Come out, come out.
It's as you sort of walk deeper into the cargo hold, still these various belongings around you. A few bushels of hay on the side, a few barrels of rations. The cage in the far corner, sort of, you notice now there appears to be a shape in it. Clearly, there's some sort of animal that's been caged up on this train. But behind the boxes, you see a fairly large creature, but I don't think I'm the best one to describe it here. Wish, would you please describe your character and their appearance?
So you go around the corner and you see this very tall, kind of hulking, 6.5 foot tall warforged. So, like a man made out of metal, with sort of bronze skin, as in bronze metal, like chainmail over him. The bronze has sort of lost a bit of its sheen. It's got a little bit of sort of water damage to it. He's got kind of vines growing in and out of the different plates, of his skin. And you can see that he's just standing very, very, very still. And he's got both of his eyes just squeezed shut. And you see, as you come around the corner, he goes like, and closes it again.
Did you find it?
I mean, it just looks like a metal box.
What?
He sort of like charges in, sort of standing next to you, looks at him and goes,
Oh, it's just a guy. Wait, it's like a metal guy? This is weird, man.
Do I still get my free drinks?
Uh,
I mean, you didn't really do anything.
I mean, yeah, this definitely isn't on the manifest. What?
I'm gonna poke it. Can I poke him with the axe? Not the axe part, like the handle part.
sure.
I kind of go, all right, big man, calm down now.
Hey,
Oh my
get up,
god!
Get up.
Ah, shit, are you gonna make me pay for a ticket now?
Wait, you a passenger?
No. And I close my eyes again.
Ugh. I'm gonna go get Elisa. She'll know what. I don't think there's any danger here. This is fine. I'm gonna. You guys can watch this while I go get Elisa, right?
Totally, yeah.
Do I get a drink for it?
I'll give you 2 drinks, man. You know, you've been really helpful.
Sure, I'll watch it.
Great. And he sort of watches out, sort of squidges past like those of you who are sort of still in the corridor and sort of continues on to what you can only imagine the other part of the train. And you guys are left alone in the cargo hold. I mean, what are you guys up to, sort of as you're here?
Can I loot the cargo hold?
In
Gonna look around if there's anything of value
guys, it's
immediately.
D&D.
Feeling.
So you're gonna sort of take a moment to sort of look away from the robot and look on the cargo hold.
Yes, I'm just gonna like, oh, Battle behind my back. Man, this stuff looks cool. Just start looking around.
Sounds great. Give me an investigation check.
Cool.
While
Cool.
Vilig is doing this, Valak, so apologies.
There you go.
What are the rest of you up to?
I make a small comment, pause, honestly, sit back down, back in my book.
Just in the
I'm
cargo
just-
hold, just sitting on something, pulling open a book.
I'm gonna approach and just I'm gonna approach Noah and just tap like the metal bit. Like,
Ding, ding, ding.
Hello,
are
let's
you
look.
are you alive?
No, I'm cargo.
That makes sense.
Are you alive?
Is-
And I'll give her a little tap on the forehead.
I think I am. I'm not cargo at least. I'll okay. I'll leave you. Is there like any sort of like blanket or anything, and I'll just put it over?
Yeah, sort of easy enough. You can find sort of a tarpaulin, and you're able to just sort of drape it over this large hulking figure that now has a tarp over the hood of it.
I'm sure this way they won't realize. And just cover him.
Wow.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Whilst all of this chaos is going on, Bella is gonna sit down next to the Crescent, and she's gonna look at the book. She can't read it, but she's definitely gonna look at it to try and figure out if she could decipher anything.
Yeah, sure. Give me a little perception check to see how well you do that.
Someone hates me today.
Oh no.
Hold on, I need to. That is a 20.
30-20, that's pretty gosh darn good. You're not too familiar with the common tongue. It's something you struggle with a little bit, and it'd be even harder because this book is in fact in Elvish. It seems to be you pick out a few words, you sort of like that you've just seen dotted around a few Elvish signs. Sort of you see plant, fauna, sea, water, and you see what looks to be a small annotation, a diagram of a long blue flower that sort of seems to be looking at it. But aside from that, you don't really glean too many details there. You're not able to read the words, but that's what you see aboard the page, sort of looking over the shoulder. And of course, Crescent, you notice this smaller creature sort of come plonk down next to you and begin just staring over your shoulder, probably in a little bit into your personal space, I would say.
Not knowing Bella's capabilities, I slam the book shut and I ask, "Can I help you?"
Bella can't actually understand much of the language spoken, so she just kind of looks at Balig in a complete panic.
Oh, I rolled a 6 and I have -2, so that's a 4 on the investigation.
Oh no.
Great. No, you take a gander around the cavern, or the cavern, the interior of this cargo hold. You find a few boxes, pretty box-like. Sort of you give a small pull on one on top of them. Seems to be nailed down. Not much you can do there. But what you do find as you're wandering to the far end, the opposite end to where you came in, is a large sealed metal door, presumably leading to another part of the cargo hold that seems to be locked up tight. And just to the side of this is a cast iron cage, and written in very big, bold red letters are sort of is the writing sort of in the common tongue. do not feed, do not open this cage, and a little brackets, seriously, and then brackets close. And yeah, I mean, would you like to sort of peer a little bit closer into the cage?
I wouldn't like to get closer. I'd like to poke
Yeah.
at it with my axe again.
So like just like hit the
Through
cage.
the butt. Let's go. Actually, yeah, let's hit the cage.
There's
Let's
like a
tap the
black there's
cage.
like a black mass sort of sitting in the back of the cage. It's a bit further in. There's not really any light in here. It's probably why your investigation was so poor, because you can't actually really see too much right now.
Yeah, that's why. Oh, oh, what's it called? I just go, hey, oi, wake up, and just bang the cage.
As you do that, you see this black mass sort of shift, sort of writhe on the floor. It sort of charges towards you. The cage bashes and sort of moves slightly towards you as you see this large creature. It has a few feathers. It sort of has a few wings, and you would best describe it as a goose. And it just goes sort of out at you, looking out the cage, and sort of stands beady eyes, sort of going out to the side, but looking directly at you.
Valig, just never seen a goose before. What is that hideous thing? No wonder they've got it in a cage. Gonna bang the cage again and just turn around to the rest of the group.
Sort of like waves its wings slightly and sort of just honks at you aggressively. This is obviously quite a commotion that's heard throughout the cage, and it's only met by the returning forces of Rustafar and Elisa sort of walking in. He sort of goes, yeah, you might want to. It's perfectly safe, I assure you. And she goes, yes, thank you for that. And she sort of walks in, sort of hears the motion, goes, excuse me, what do you think you're doing?
Watching the cargo for drinks.
I mean, please be careful with that. It's prized possession of one of our more esteemed guests. Just, I'd appreciate it if you didn't touch the cargo.
We only have 5 guests.
Yes.
So one of us?
None of ours? It's not mine.
No.
It's not mine.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I'll sort of pull the.
I'm
tarpaulin
gonna
off
point
him
at
and go,
myself and go,
They
5.
don't know I'm here. They don't really know I'm here. I wasn't counted in that. And then I put the tarpaulin back over me.
She sort of walks around and goes, but what in... And she sort of pulls the tarpaulin off and goes,
It's Gargle.
and sort of her eyes light up and she goes, it's one of the contraptions. It's pre-war. Oh, wow. This is spectacular. This isn't on the manifest, is it? And she goes, no, I'm pretty sure it's an addition. It kind of spoke before. And she sort of looks up and goes, are you active? And sort of gives you like, sort of places her hand sort of on the cold hard armor and sort of runs her hand across the engraving that's sort of brazened across your chassis, which, as we now know, simply is 3 letters, N-O-A. Noah. It's a good unit model, I imagine. Hello?
I'll sort of like gently take her hand off of me and say, "That's awfully familiar of you."
I'm so sorry. I've never seen a warforged so close before. It's quite mesmerizing.
Mesmerizing enough to get a free ticket.
Roll me a persuasion check.
13.
13. Pretty fast. She's already pretty mesmerized by you. It wasn't a high DC to pass. She sort of goes, I mean, I'm really not supposed to. I mean, it's the kind of thing that could be an awful lot of trouble if anyone were to mention it. Sort of looks at the rest of the group, but I'm sure they won't because I've been so understanding, looking across at Valak specifically. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, sure. Would you like to not be in the cargo hold? I mean, passengers aren't supposed to be here. Look, how about all of you retire to the main point? It's nearly time for us to serve up dinner. Do you eat? Is there anything we can get for you?
I eat copper, so if you bring me about 30 of those,
30
that'll
copper.
do me splendidly. Yeah.
Right. I mean, sure that's.
What's through there, by the way? And I
I'm
point
sure we
towards
can-
the sealed door.
Oh, sort of looks across at sort of the rest of you in the room. Give me another persuasion check.
Ooh, 8.
I, I really appreciate your curiosity, but there's very much a reason we don't allow individuals into the cargo hold, especially not. Anyway, if all of you would like to file out and follow me, I'm pretty sure that Mustafa has agreed to pay for your drinks, and Mustafa goes, one drink each.
Two.
Sort of starts to, sort of, two for you, and sort of leads his way out and sort of Elisa very much sort of like ushers, sort of expecting you to follow him out of the cargo hold. I mean, is that what all of you want to do?
Is she staring at us, like all of us? Or is
Yes,
she, like,
she's
okay,
very
okay.
much standing in the back of the cargo hold and expectantly wanting all of you to walk out.
I'll walk out.
As I walk out though, I wanna fall in like next to Valek and just ask in Draconic. So, did you find anything?
There were boxes.
That
Oh, there
was
was the
an awful lot of searching for
Uh,
boxes.
Yeah, there was an ugly thing in a cage.
Sure. And just keep on walking.
I'm gonna just turn and try and yank that metal door open with one hand, just like
Oh no.
quickly, just before I leave.
Are you trying to do so stealthily?
No.
Okay.
Just like really quickly, and then just walk off. It doesn't open.
Give me a little strength check.
18.
18.
And then what's
Plus
that
your strength
is
modifier?
22.
22. Yeah, there's a bending of the metal as sort of this large it's sort of almost, you can picture it almost as if you would a vault door, sort of that sort of circular panel with large hinges on it. You give it a quick tug, bend the metal completely out of place. Unfortunately, it doesn't cause a shift or the door to open, but you've certainly bent it really hard. And sort of, Elisa sort of looks back at you after hearing this metal bend and goes,
It was the ugly thing.
"Really? I mean, really?
It was the ugly thing.
Please, get out."
I'm just
Please,
gonna walk out. I'm just
please.
gonna walk out.
She sort of grimaces, like very obviously, and then eventually follows you out after, very upset,
Oh no.
closing the door behind her, scowling at you then, and then continuing forward.
So look, we probably got about hour before they start serving up food, but hey, if you're with me, I can get you all a drink beforehand if you wanna come with me to the dining cart. I mean, it's up to you guys.
Oh,
Yeah, that sounds lovely. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, what should I call you?
Noah. You can call me Noah.
Oh, it's like it's written on you.
Yeah, it's my name, yeah.
Oh, you branded your name. That's so smart. I mean, I would get Mustafa put across my shoulder, but it's a really long name.
Oh, but
Tattoos
you
are
should
expensive.
do that.
I
I mean, it was
think.
I just kind of woke up one day and didn't know what my name was, and that was written on me, so that's why I chose it. But
Really?
I mean, you could do it the other way around if you want. In case you lost your memory as well, then you'd remember your name's Rustafar.
But if you write it on your shoulders, it kind of defeats the purpose.
I mean, oh no, it'd be kind of hard to read. But, you give me a lot to think about. There's a lot to digest. Let's go get a drink. You drink as well, or just copper?
I'll try a drink. I've not tried a drink yet.
Sure.
There's like a growing confusion mixed with almost curiosity across this guy's face as you sort of follow him through the rest of the cabin. Leading you forward, they sort of take you up, back through the corridor with the doors that lead to your accommodation, back through the general seating area where you initially found yourselves, and into what is almost like makeshift dining cart. There's about 8 long strewn tables, all of which are being preemptively set out with placements. You see a few figures bustling around, 2 mainly, and another figure sort of marching in from the other side, wearing similar armor to Rustafar, who comes meeting, and there's a small interaction between him and Rustafar. It's like a,
Hey, what are you doing bringing the guests in? Well, I don't know, man. I mean, I thought it would be good for us to do this kind of thing.
and it's quite strange as you see them talking. These two figures seem very similar in their mannerisms, in their talking, in their height, in their armor, and their face. They seem to have identical faces as they're going through, and it sort of strikes you as a bit odd for a moment, but you've seen weirder things in this world. And Wistapar turns back to you and sort of says,
Look, guys, if you just want to take a seat at one of the chairs, one of the tables, I'll see about those drinks.
Hey, there's two of you now.
Yeah,
Does that mean I get double drinks? It's two.
no. That's Kathnar. That was this thing a while back. I was sort of minding my own business. I was on a job. So, I'll tell this over a drink. Let me get you a drink first, then I'll tell you the story. He sort of motions for all of you to sit down. So looking around the dining car, there are these 8 different sets of tables, a few people musting around, and you end up actually being joined by some of the crew members. There's a small porter who's sort of shallow face, young face, who sort of walks in and goes, well, hi, I'm Pike. Nice to meet you all. Nice to meet you all. Sort of holds out a hand for you all to shake.
I definitely shake the hand.
Oh, I'll
Pleasure,
shake the hand
pleasure.
really
Nice to meet
firmly.
you. I'm Crescent.
No, nice to meet you. I'm a general porter, so I'll be clearing all this away when we're done with it. But I've been told I can enjoy some things because apparently you guys have been a bit of help today, so that's really exciting.
Bella just
I'm not
next.
sure if you can class that as help.
Great. I mean,
We definitely helped. We definitely helped. That's what we're getting drinks for.
yeah, of course, of course. So as far as the seating arrangements go, are all of you planning to sit sort of at tables next to each other? Do you want to sort of? Does anyone want to split up from the rest of the people, or do you all sort of want to sit communally?
I'm just gonna sit at a table.
Yeah, I'll
Not
sit at
gonna wait
whichever
for
table
anyone.
like people start like sitting. I'll just go and just sit with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just sit with the rest of them.
Cool. So these tables, there's some wooden stools, and they seem to be wooden sort of tables with sort of some drapes thrown over them to make them look a bit more fancy. But it's not the prestiges of poshness, I want to say. It's very makeshift. It's very much, it serves a purpose, I will say. And there's a small creak as your Warforged self sits onto this wooden seat, sort of still towering a little bit, and over comes a mustached man who sort of small black mustache sort of going across his face, black hair, and he sort of goes, "Good evening. I am Zhao. It is a pleasure to meet you."
I'll sort
Good
of
evening.
sit up from the table and like bump the table a bit, and it all like shakes
Ah.
around, and I'll like shake his hand, and then
Wait,
sit back down, and the chair kind of creaks.
Yeah, you are quite large for a ship. I hope it is not too much trouble for you.
No, it's quite all right. I mean, I was relaxing in the cargo hold, but apparently I'm not allowed in there. So here I am, breaking your furniture.
It is fine. I mean, I'm the one who sort of makes certain things, and I have concocted you all this special beverage. It is mead. Get it? Because mead is common, and I said special.
I'm gonna take the drink from his hand.
Grant. He sort of places a few out and sort of disappears himself. And eventually, you're joined. So your table consists of all yourselves, Pike, and eventually Rustafar comes and sort of sits down with you. And yeah, aside from you guys, there's not really too many people in the dining car. There seems to be there's the occasional coming in of Zhao, who sort of comes in to occasionally top up drinks and sort of do things in that capacity. And you're sort of left to sit and Pike sort of looks across and goes, "Right, so it's first day aboard. How's everyone finding it so far?"
I'm having a lovely time. So you're the porter, so you help sort of bring things on, do you?
Oh, so for the most part, when we're in the cargo hold, I bring things onto there. When people finish in the service room here, I take things out of here. When people need luggage, I take things out of there. When people, are generally bored of things, I take them out of there. And occasionally, when passengers are rude, I take them out of here.
Wonderful, man. You must see all sorts. So, do you know what's beyond the cargo hold then?
Beyond the cargo hold, I mean, the edge of the train it is.
Wasn't there a door there?
Oh,
Joe?
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's just the other part of the cargo hold.
What, the big metal thing?
Yeah, that's it. So at least the
A broken handle. Wasn't me.
did you break my handle?
What handle?
Did you break my handle?
What's...
You said it wasn't him.
Yeah.
Actually,
Hey,
you called
give
me
me a-
the big ugly guy. It was him.
I called you a metal crate.
You
Give
called me
me-
the big ugly guy on your way out.
Give me a deception check, but
Did I?
initially do so with advantage because you're being helped, but now do so with disadvantage because you're being actively hindered.
That's an 18. That's a 4. That's a... What's that? Let me go see what that is. Oh, right. It was persuasion?
Yeah, no, deception.
Deception.
Because you are lying.
Even worse. Right, it's not. So 3. That's a 3. So
3.
That's great.
Can't
Have you rolled
believe
anything
broke
yet
my
with a
door.
positive?
Apparently people just aren't doing what they're good at. I can't believe you broke my door. That was my favorite door.
Bella's just awkwardly like tugging at Malik to try and get
What?
some sort of
What? What do you want?
translation of anything that's been said.
What do you want?
Translation!
Oh, he's big metal ugly guy. He's a guy who's angry about some door that got broken.
Oh, I suppose I'll just.
That wasn't draconic, by the way. So she did, because otherwise that
Of course.
Bella can't understand.
Yeah, draconic.
And Pike sort of sits back and goes, "No, I think I might head off in a little bit. It's really bummed me out, that has." And
I mean,
it's
would you like would a drink help?
sort of knows that.
Get
I
it?
mean, if you were to bring in new keg from the side, I suppose I'd forgive you then.
Where?
Just in the front, in the kitchen. If you wanna just walk in and grab one of the kegs and bring it out, I'm sure that would be fine.
This feels rather threatening for some reason.
Why are you talking like that?
I'm not talking like anything. This is just how I talk.
You're making. Got those eyes. Shit. Gotta turn about. Should I get the keg?
Give me an insight check.
It's not gonna go well. 5.
Oh no.
Bro, he wants to make amends. He's like, go
It's
get
a
the
flat
keg and we'll
5.
chill. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Where's the kitchen?
Can I
And
make an insight check?
it's at this point that
You make an insight check.
anyone who wants to can make an insight check because this is a fairly open conversation.
God, why am I talking
God.
to people?
Can I
Why am I
help in
choosing to
some
talk
way?
to people?
Can I help him in some
10.
way?
14.
Yeah, I mean, he does seem to be saying it a little bit threateningly. There's something not quite sure, and it's only when someone busts the password goes, we better not. Look, he's trying to make a fool out of you. Don't go to areas you're not supposed to be. Restricted areas. We have a few
security measures in place. One of which being progressing further into the train from this point. Just appreciate it if you didn't do it. Didn't make my life any harder. So yeah. No. Now look. Aside from getting off on the wrong foot, there, don't worry. I'll fix the door. Okay. Look, it's good to meet you guys. We're gonna be on this train for a few more days, so it'd be good for us to all get to know each other. I think. So my name is Foster.
Why are the areas restricted? And what is the penalty for going into the restricted areas?
Right. So we're
Just
going straight into
like
it. I
we're gonna be
suppose.
here for a while, just making conversation.
Yeah, sure. Making conversation. So I mean, for the most part,
It doesn't know, the kitchen seems to be like a very weird thing to be restricted. What if we get
It's-
hungry midway through the night?
so it's
I get
just-
hungry.
I mean, yeah, but you're not meant to access further points. It basically depends on the type of passenger you are and the point of the train. Like, we've got some pretty temperamental stuff on board. We don't want anything to mess up. So simply put, you try to open a door to somewhere you're not meant to be. It's not going to go well for you if you're the one opening it.
That sounds like a challenge, but okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
look, I mean,
I think I failed that challenge.
right, the door. It's gonna be fine. Don't worry about it. So yeah, look, I mean, look, you asked before why myself and Catherine are the same. We were on a job a couple summers back, and I was walking through. I found this strange vial, had some liquid in it. Up north, sort of near the Briarwood. You know, it's something that's not too uncommon. It was this sort of underground layer thing. I was meant to be doing a security detail, so I was looking at this green vial, and suddenly there was a large crash out of nowhere, and we had to fight some guys. And in the commotion, the vial broke, spilled all over me. A big chunk of flesh sort of was burned, so I cut it off. You know, cauterized the wound. I wanted to make sure I was gonna be okay, and then over the next few weeks, it started growing. The lump of flesh, apparently. Sought me out, walked into my home, acting as if it was self. Had my own memories. It was basically a duplicate of myself. So
You
Change
kept
names?
a lump of flesh for several days.
no, I didn't keep it. I left it in the underground place. But it eventually got to a point where it walked back, and I met it in my house. It was fucking. Let me tell you, it was crazy walking in and sort of seeing myself. But that's just the world we live in, I suppose.
Sure.
What about you guys? What about you, Blue One, Crescent, I think it was. What brings you aboard the Lightning Rail?
I don't think that's worth discussing.
Right, great one for conversation then. Appreciate you. Okay, what about you, Valak? Why are you here?
Oh, I'm taking this little one home. Just patting them. Say hi.
Why doesn't she speak?
Oh, she's just a little slow. That's why I'm here. I'm the brains.
Insight check.
Huh?
She
Go
I'm telling the truth. This is what I think.
She starts getting very angry and starts actually yelling at Valig in Draconic because she is picking up on the word slow in reference to
What?
her.
What is it? What?
You
Oh.
can't keep calling me slow. I am not
She-
slow.
She
No.
says hi.
No,
And it's nice to meet you.
no, stop telling them. I say hi. I do
Well,
not.
is just like a sneakering and all this. Like, because she can understand Draconic, but she's just like
So, out of
this whole
curiosity,
conversation.
just for the vibes, does anyone else here speak Draconic and is understanding this?
No.
Lay, does Crescent speak Draconic?
I know she speaks Elvish. I know she speaks one more.
So, bottom of the first page of your character sheet, there'll be a box on the bottom right, and it'll say languages and then
right.
list them.
Oh, I do.
You do, right?
I
Cool.
do.
So it's
You've been understanding
Oh
all
my
these
God.
side
I
conversations.
keep
You've
it
been
to
understanding
myself. I'm trying to study. I'm
not
trying to
paying
study my
attention.
books. I understand what's going on, and I might just keep it in my head for, like, not reveal that I understand what she's saying.
Poor
Just
Am
Noah.
I-
yet, anyway.
I'm the only one that can't. I'm the
Poor
only
Bella.
person. I'm just sat here, just like, whatever.
She then begins.
It's gonna click in Valik's brain that that the elf that hasn't did I get Oldiel's name? I don't think so.
Probably not.
I don't
No.
think
No,
you've
so
spoken.
it just clicked that they could speak Draconic, and they're just like, I'm just gonna stare at them like, huh?
I mean, they spoke to you in Draconic earlier, so
Yeah. So,
Bella-
I'm just it's fine. It's fine. Didn't say anything. No problem there.
Bella's gonna finish her angry tirade and Sylvan. She's long
Oh.
gone.
Nice.
Didn't mean to upset. So little one's going home. Seems good. And brings us to yourself. You seemed a bit curious about the outer world. What brings you here? Sort of motioning towards Odell.
So Oldiel is basically like at this time, she's like bringing out like a little plate and like pouring a bit of the meat on it, and then like this tiny mouse comes out of her clothes and starts like drinking it. while
Oh,
she's
that
having a
is
drink.
that is not sanitary. Don't let Giles
And
see
she
that.
just like puts her ears around, like her hands around his ears so he can't hear it. It's like he's very clean, I'll have you know.
You are a weird bunch, I have to say.
There's a
For
man
yourself.
with a double.
There's
Yeah.
nothing
Very
wrong with
rich.
being weird. Look, I have a twin of myself that's a clone. Like, we're all weird here, okay? It's
Well,
I
I'm
wish
not
I had
from
a twin.
around here, so like you all are very weird to me. In a good way. I know I love learning new stuff. So yeah, that's why I'm so excited about seeing the outside. It's very different from where I'm from. So
Can I, Oldiel, are you alright with me petting your mouse?
of course. Yeah,
Okay.
just yeah, he's called Peanut.
Can I try and pet Peanut, please?
yeah. There's no check needed for that. I'd be a
No.
monster if I
He's
said
a-
so. It's just
he's very like he just like nuzzles you a bit and like just keeps on drinking.
to the rest of you that aren't made of, like literal stone. No offense to the Warforged. This is a very, very adorable sight of this large metallic creature sort of stroking this little mouse.
Can Bella join in on the stroking? Is that okay? Just like a little
Can I-
finger.
Peanut is loving it. He absolutely loves being the center of attention. So he's all for it.
Can I try and see what Crescent's book is about? I do speak Elvish.
Yeah, Crescent, are you still reading even as you're having your?
I
drink?
am, yes.
Yeah, give me a little perception check to sort of have a look
Can
over.
you walk me through how to do that?
Don't. So, I mean, are you trying to hide what's written in it, or is like, so are you trying to like keep it very much to yourself, or are you trying to?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Why don't you give me a sleight of hand check? So you're going to roll 1d20, and then on your character sheet under the skills section there is a sleight of hand point, and that'll have a plus next to it, and you'll be able to add that to whatever the roll you get on the d20 is.
Sorry. Oh, okay. So 4. It says
Yeah.
+3 on the sleight of hand.
Cool. So that
What
takes you
does
to seven. So that takes you to 7 total. So that's your
Okay.
score for how well you're keeping it hidden, and that's going to go against Noah's perception here. What was your perception roll?
Dirty 20.
A dirty 20, which is
Oh.
a bit higher than 7.
Mm.
So peering over, you do see this book that it seems to be a herbalist's book, sort of looking at a lot of the features and details of rare flowers and fauna, listing out their properties, sort of what's known about them, and this is specifically about a flower known as the aquatic rose, and sort of just seems to be fixated on this page. Yeah, that's for the most
Sorry.
part.
can we take a moment to explain what a dirty 20 is and just talk about
Oh.
dice
Yeah.
rolls? Would that be okay?
Because we've had natural ones and dirty 20s.
Yeah, so we
So-
should probably talk about that.
So this is when the 20's been especially bad. No, for the most part, it comes down to, so on a 20-sided dice, you can roll 1 through 20. Now, a
oh,
natural
focus.
1 or rolling a 1 is obviously the worst thing that you can get on a die. Rolling a 20 or a natural 20 is the best thing you can get on the dice. So those sort of are the two ends of the scale. Now, as we just saw when we were talking through our little sleight of hand check there, you do have bonuses to certain skills with, for example, Crescent's sleight of hand being a +3. So if Crescent were to roll a 17 and have that +3 added onto it, it would be a 20. Unfortunately, it wouldn't be a natural 20, which is a bit more special, a bit better. So it would be slightly different in that capacity. But so dirty 20 is still good, but it's not quite in that upper echelon.
Cool.
Yeah,
That-
so
thank
you
you.
obviously
Sorry.
you see no, it's absolutely fine. So you see that sort of written into the book.
I'll sort of say in Elvish to her. So you like plants? I like plants as well.
I giggle at the remark. I say, yes, study them, and I'm trying to find one that's very rare, very hard to come by.
Is it the aquatic rose or something else?
Oh, sorry, my everything just stopped for a second, and I didn't hear anything after aquatic rose.
Oh, I was just. Is it the aquatic rose or something else?
It is the aquatic rose, and I'm trusting you with this information, as I believe nobody else can understand us. So if you keep it between me and you, I'll owe you.
I'll keep your secret, and I'll give her a little elbow, and then lean back and continue petting Peanut.
Like I'm imagining like this like massive thing just like sent
Yeah,
like,
this, like,
Crescent
tiny
onto the
seal
opposite
just-
side.
Oh, very nicely done. So Mustafar sort of taps the table and says, "I'll leave you guys to the rest of it. I think the food's gonna be coming out. I've gotta get back to my shift. I mean, nothing really happens on here anyway. So enjoy the food." And he sort of stands up and sort of makes his way back. You can only imagine towards the cargo hold. And-
Oliel's an elf, right?
Yes.
So, Crescent's just gone. Yeah, I don't think anyone else can understand that. With this elf
Well,
sitting opposite
I don't
him.
know for sure. I haven't interacted with Odell really.
yeah. So you've obviously heard this interaction in Elvish, Adele, as far as things go. So
Yeah,
Who
just
knows
like
what they'll do with that
who
information?
knows?
They know everything.
Oh, he's knowing
everything.
everything.
I mean, I understand everyone, like, in your own tongues as well, so...
Can
You guys
understand
have these
your
lovely
word?
common languages aside
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Noah,
Yeah,
who's
it's
there.
working
Like,
well.
it's great.
I'm just
Wait,
gonna start speaking Gnomish.
I can't speak Elvish. Neither can Alex. So you guys have that, you know?
Mm.
There's two little circles. So
Yeah,
everyone
two
can
circles so
eventually-
far.
That's perfect.
Noah's out of all of them.
So Noah, so Valig is taking Bella home, and what brings you here?
Oh, well, I just kind of woke up a few months ago with no clue what my existence was for. So I'm just on a wander.
Ah, so interesting. So why here? Where did you wake up? Were you alone?
I woke up in the middle of a forest. Don't know what was going on there, but I mean, I know languages, so I guess I must have had a purpose at some point that involved speaking somehow. I just quite like nature, as you can probably see, and I just kind of gesture to all the vines and like the flowers and mushrooms growing out of me. I guess I just really want to visit Lake Galifar. Apparently the water there is lovely.
Do you know anything about this place and have not from around here? Is this like something completely?
So
I
it
just don't
wouldn't
know how
quite
much
be-
I would have like
Yeah,
how
from
much I'm like
absorption.
blindly going around, or how much I've like actually researched where I'm going.
Yeah. For this, we're not actually going to do a normal check. We're going to do something a bit different because obviously there's a chance, just given your background, given how you've come to be in this place, I think it's a slightly different check. So I'm going to ask you to roll me a percentile dice. For those who don't know what percentile dice is, this is a combination of two d10s. So there's one that has two results and one that has a single result. It acts as almost a d100.
I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
Do it.
So in total, because you can have 0 through 9 on each die, there is a total of 100 different combinations that you can have. So in essence, it gives us the ability to roll a 100-sided dice without having something gargantuan.
I do actually own 100-sided die.
I mean, if you
I'll
want
see
to
if I
roll,
can find. Yeah, I'll see if I can find them as well.
Everyone putting out their D100.
I mean, if you want to roll a
No,
d100, you
I'll roll
also
a
can.
normal one. That like I will probably lose it.
I want to
Uh,
see that thing roll. Like, I really want to see that thing
It's
roll.
just a ball. It's just a
Yeah.
ball.
Someone type D100 to roll 20.
49.
49, yeah. So within the realms, I was going to say it's 50-50 and sort of in that lower echelon. So yeah, you know of this, you sort of recognize the word. It sort of takes you a moment, and you recognize it purely as it's actually the largest lake on the continent. Sort of, it's in the middle of it's sort of a connecting point in the provinces of the far Elden reaches, which is a large known forest. There's Ander and there's Breland, which is sort of the area you're traveling towards now. There's a large lake situated in the middle. It's huge by comparison, probably the size of several seas. It's been called. It's very well known. There's a lot of different stories that have been told about it. It's quite a large hub and acts as a border point and really a landmark for this continent for the most part. And yeah, so you have a vague sense of what he's talking about, for sure.
So can you swim? Because
You
you're
know
going
what?
to a lake.
I don't think so. I spent a lot of time asleep in some water, so I definitely don't need to breathe. Do you reckon I could maybe just walk into the water and just keep going?
Maybe. Yeah. It's not as fun as swimming. We'll figure out a way to make you swim. Maybe we attach some like balloons.
What if he
Like-
floats already?
I weigh 145
He's-
kilograms. I kind of.
Yeah, but you're pretty
doubt
big though.
I mean, it's all
Um,
metal, though, is what I'm
Is,
trying
is
to
it?
say.
Is it no dinkum? Is it all metal?
Well, I've not had like a dig around my intestines, if that's what you mean, but
You
it
have
feels
intestines?
Pretty metal. Well, I don't
What
know.
do metal intestines feel like?
Maybe
It's-
you
it's-
stick around and we'll find out.
It's as you say the words metal intestines that Zhao with his short pencil mustache sort of comes out and goes, I have your food, and sort of like places several bowls of it looks like it's a hot soup sort of across the table, and when getting to you, Noah sort of places, I have told that we should get you some metals, so I have gotten you this, and clunk, there's just a long copper rod that he just places on the table, and he sort of just goes, I hope this will be to your satisfaction. He sort of takes a pinch of salt out from his pocket, sprinkles it across the pipe, and goes, wah, and sort of takes himself off. And sure enough, sort of as now the food's coming out, you also, at the point of this conversation, notice two other people who you haven't seen before. One is sort of a pot-bellied man who sort of comes out, sits himself down at a table, sort of wedges himself in. He's got a large black apron on, sort of spanning his thing. He sort of wedges himself into one of the tables in the far corner. And then there is also a... Sorry, just finding them. There is a young man who sort of comes in with sort of golden tousled hair. He's wearing sort of a neckerchief, sort of a what's the word for it? I think it's neckerchief. It's the where it's sort of small piece of fabric wrapped around the neck. And he sort of sits down at the far table, puts his feet up on the table, and sort of sits there. He's wearing sort of a brown leather sort of jacket, sort of like going up across him, and he's sort of sitting across, and he sort of looks over across and sort of waves at you guys on the table, waves at the potbelly guy, and then sort of picks up his bowl of food and sort of starts slurping at that. And you guys are left to your devices for this food.
Can
I'm
Bella
stuffing
go?
my face.
Can Bella go and whack the guy's feet off the table?
Yeah, sure.
Will
You
she
sort
be
of-
able to do that though? Considering the yeah.
No, for sure. Like you sort of, I imagine it sort of slightly how it. You sort of stand to the middle of the room, sort of march on over. He's sort of looking at you up and down. And he goes, he sort of looks curious as you're walking over. It's like, how do you want to whack them off? Like, what, like, how do you envision this happening in your mind?
Not like a hard whack, but definitely she's small. She's gonna have to climb up. Like definitely a shove of the feet off. Is her raising? Yeah,
Yeah, it's just the
Yeah,
he doesn't
it's
stop. He's not really expecting it for sure.
it's definitely more of like a fear reaction than it is a angry reaction.
Cool. Just give me a little athletics check just to see the force you put into this.
Oh no. Okay, that's a 10. That's a 10.
10. Yeah, like just pushing some feet. It's not too hard. Just wanted to, make sure it's nothing went horrible. His feet sort of go onto the floor, but he sort of almost catches himself as the feet go on the floor and sort of uses it to lean forward, a bit closer towards you. And he goes, "Hey, that's no way for someone to act. I mean, why can't we just be friends?" And he sort of leans in a bit closer and he gives you like a wry smile. Says, my name's Mateus. What's yours?"
Bella just like completely looks at him blankly. She has no clue what he's saying at the moment. She kind of just like looks back at Valak very quickly, but then looks back
Stuffing
at
his
the
face.
guy and just takes a quick seat next to him, not saying anything.
Just next to the guy.
The guy.
Yeah, pleasure to meet you. I mean, let's enjoy our food. What do I call you?
She kind of answers awkwardly and just goes, Bella? In the
Ah, that's a beautiful name, I have to say. Okay,
she just nods her head. There is nothing she's understanding.
fantastic. Great. He sort of looks out at the main table to see if any of you guys are reacting and sort of sits and like looks at you a bit curiously. Decides you're probably harmless and sort of like leans back and starts sipping his soup again. Feet go back onto the table.
I've just got like the large metal rod and I'm just kind of looking at it from side to side like, would this actually like give me sustenance? Just kind of like preoccupied with it, a bit uncertain.
There's a few salt flakes still like stuck
Yeah.
to it as like just with the way of it. I mean, hey, do you wanna try and consume the metal rod?
I don't think so, no. I just wanted them to give me money.
Things to be asked on stream. I mean, it's
I'm getting flashbacks.
no, fantastic. Yeah, and for the most part, you guys enjoy your meals. I mean, is there anything you guys would like to do while you're consuming this food?
Is Crescent still reading while they're eating? While she's eating, or is she? Has she put the book down?
You know what? I've put my book down. I'm looking at the soup, and it's lack of flavor, I think. And my book being about herbs and stuff go in my bag. Am I able to add a herb to spice up the soup?
Yeah, for sure.
You just
You
see
do.
me like tampering with my own soup, trying to make it more flavorful.
Can I sort of roll the metal rod over to her and go, do you have any herbs to make this quite nice?
Do you like chili?
I don't have taste buds.
Maybe not then.
Metal intestines, but can't taste. What's the point?
We don't know if I have metal intestines.
Well, you might as well. If you're not empty in there, what else is in there?
He sounded pretty empty when I knocked on his side, though.
If I tap on my metal belly, what
Mhm.
sound does it make? Is it hollow? Is there something in there?
It sounds pretty full. You're not sure if it's intestines, so to speak, or just machinery or whatever else, but there's a different like thud, when you hit it. Good
I mean,
armor,
I'm very heavy, so it might just be metal all the way through.
So
It-
just out of curiosity for you guys, sort of night is sort of falling outside the window, as you can see. Now these tables are obviously structured half in, half out, sort of half looking out the window on one side, half looking out the window on the other side. How focused are you guys like on your food? Is this like all consuming? Is it something where you're sort of still involved with the cabin? Obviously, I know it might be a little bit different for
Nom, nom, nom.
you, Belle, but is it sort of what's the general atmosphere that you guys are feeling while eating?
I'm just like studying everyone else at the table, see like
Oh.
what they do, like not in a creepy way, but more of a this is fun
Hmm.
sort of situation. Like,
Yeah. Right.
do you carry a lot of spices around with you, Crescent? Is it like, are they from like where you are from? Do they like taste different than the stuff that you have here?
I think Crescent would reply in Elvish, kind of a private person. And she would say they're from all over from my travels. And I carry them around because a lot of them have different properties and they become very important in certain situations.
Oh.
Can I
So
sort
you've
of cut
traveled
in?
around a lot.
I do, yes.
Can I cut in Elvish and say, what's the absolute worst place you've been that you wouldn't want anyone else to go?
I hesitate to answer.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
I
what if
would
he says your
mumble.
hometown?
I mumble my hometown. But I leave it nameless.
Simply.
All you have is my hometown.
Yeah.
You're very mysterious, aren't you?
Mm. A lot of secrets.
So
Crescent.
Malik. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Please go ahead.
So if Bella cannot speak common, how you reckon she's speaking to that guy? And just
As you look over, you do see what you can imagine is Bella sitting across from Mateus, who now Bella, for you it's a bit strange because occasionally Mateus goes, "Hey, I mean it's good soup, right?"
Bella is just like not responding. Like there is no sound. She's just kind of awkwardly just like try to almost like form words, but they all end up coming out draconic in some way. So
Right, and what brings you aboard?
she's starting to get very uncomfortable now by other questions. So she's gonna stand up and go back to Malik.
I'll catch. Okay, so I'll catch you later. Sort of goes back to soup.
When she comes back, can I sort of stoop down to her and go, it seems like everyone else here understands you in some way, but I don't. So I've got this for you, and I have a triangle in my bag, like a dingling triangle, and I'll kind of hand it to her, and I'll go, if you need my attention, just ring that, and I'll come along. All right.
Adorable. Gotta say. As sort of this interaction is happening, now, Valak, you're pretty consumed in your food. I don't think you're really the one to pay this,
Nom,
but
nom.
Crescent and Odell, can I get both of you just to roll me a perception check for me?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Ooh, 13 plus 2, 15.
15. Lovely. And Crescent?
9.
9. Okay. Crescent, you're still a bit absorbed in your book, sort of as it's going on. Like the combination of that and food is a bit overwhelming, but Adele, it's kind of strange. You're sort of sitting on the inside, sort of looking out and talking to everyone else at the table, and it's momentary, but you swear you see sort of in the night that's coming in now through the window, sort of reaching in. You swear you see something flit past the window, sort of on the outside of the train. Just
Did anyone see that?
large shape.
What?
See
Huh?
what?
It was like something just went by, like flying. Is that normal?
It's
Like-
at this point that all of you hear ting, 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 sort of on the roof of the cavern above, or of the cabin, there we go, that's the word I'm looking for, above you. Sort of there seems to be what you can only describe as footsteps aboard the top, like a ting, 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 ting. In these few moments, is there any immediate reaction that you would have to these footsteps?
I will just like open my cloak so like Peanut can jump, like so just like go like this so he can like jump to safety, in case like it's not normal thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then
I'm gonna stand up, bowl of soup in one hand, pulling out the great axe with the other, just and chuck the bowl away. Just look at the ceiling, ready for whatever it is.
The bowl bounces
Aw.
off of me. I open up one of the windows and I just like peek my head out the window and look up.
Oh,
Perfect.
what's the bowl made out of?
Probably
Wood?
wood or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it wood? Is it metal? Do I dent him?
Why are we trying to hurt our own
Is
body?
it fine china and it just smashes against it?
metal and me don't mix. That's what we're learning. No,
his
it's probably wood.
nemesis, Valik's nemesis.
Fantastic. Yeah, I'm just again trying to have some lovely technical difficulties. If I could get your help, Ben, just I'm trying to set this one to repeat real quick,
Yes.
and I don't think I think
I will do it. You
Fantastic. Yeah, thank you so much. So yeah, there's these metal clangs on the roof, and you all immediately react, and there's suddenly a and you see sparks flaring out from the top of the roof as it seems to be some sort of cutter going into the top of the roof that creates a circular hole in the roof, and there's a dropping down, and three figures in sort of a 10-foot diameter hole sort of crash down into the cart, sort of still standing up, and you're immediately met with what can only be described as a black jet back hair sort of standing up, and he says, Van, behind him there is a green skin, sort of large hair sort of poofing back into a single style, sort of small spots upon them, a woman sort of standing there, armored as well, and then to their side is a little bit less armored, but probably leathers, you would say, tall, stout man who sort of has a very thin face and is wearing goggles. The main figure with the jet black hair has a pair of goggles sort of attached. He seems to have a large utility belt strewn across his shoulders, and he sort of there's a wry smile as he drops into the cabin, sort of seeing a little bit of shock across all of these faces. And he pulls out what can only be described as a long ornament of metal. Sort of, it seems to be, for those of you who are familiar with them, you would recognize it as a firearm. It sort of levels it at the crowd and sort of says, "Good evening! Don't mean to spoil the party now, but I'd appreciate it if no one made any sudden movements."
Can I wanna roll. I wanna use my I'm gonna go, you know, and then use that as a just immediately.
Okay, it sounds like you're initiating a form of combat here, so could I get everyone to please roll for initiative, I guess? Going straight into it, not playing around, not talking to these guys.
Pointing a
Can
gun.
we
Do I
not
know what a gun
talk?
is? Do I know what a gun is? I know what a gun is. I'm a mercenary. Yeah.
Sure, yeah. So obviously we'll now switch over to our lovely combat
Yes.
screen. I'll need to make a few adjustments on my side to replicate your position, so please do bear with me. But
Sorry,
here
sorry
we
guys.
go
It's
for
just-
it. No,
Wait, what are we rolling?
Yes. So we will rolling for initiative. So we will all roll a d20 and add our initiative modifiers, which you can find at the bottom of your first page of the character sheet underneath your skills. That's usually where it is.
So this basically determines in which order is the way of determining which order everyone acts in combat,
Yeah.
because it's important when things happened,
Yeah.
when you compare it with every day stuff.
I think when Robin set up the actual roll 20, it will be very easy to show as well and explain in that way. So we shall wait for the arena that I've ruined by immediately starting combat, I think. Um,
What are we
Yeah.
rolling for?
so
I'm
initiative.
really sorry. Initiative,
So
right?
you should know. So Lay,
Yeah.
what you need to do when we roll initiative is roll a d20 and then
Mhm.
add your initiative modifier, which should be on the bottom left of the first page of your character sheet. Okay.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
Robin will go through combat when she's ready,
Yes, apologies.
so that everyone can see. Get to kill something. This is gonna be fun.
To you, maybe.
That
Sorry.
sounds very squishy.
This might be a good point if we want to give ourselves a moment to obviously set this up. I know we were going to have a little sort of short 10-15 minute break. This might be a good time to do so before we get into the
Yeah.
panels of it. So we
Cool.
might have to cut a break and then join us back in just a moment for some combat.
Perfect. Shall we say 10 minutes?
That
Is that
works.
okay?
Yeah.
Come back at half past.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Cool.
See you all
Yeah,
soon.
perfect.
Right.
See you all
See
soon.
you guys in a bit.
Last summer, everything was easy. We had it all, didn't we, babe? But no wonder you couldn't keep it. It got harder than you thought it would be. You stopped loving me on the dark nights. Now you won't kiss me in the sunlight. Last summer, I know you leave me. 'Cause loving me is addicting. If you wanted to talk, you would've texted. If I wanted to stop, I would've let it go. But I get it, it's alright. 'Cause I can't keep my shit together. Say, you can't debate that. Don't want shit to get better. 'Cause it made me forget it all and I hate that. Last summer, everything was easy. We had it all, didn't we, babe? But no wonder you couldn't keep it. It got harder than you thought it would be. You stopped loving me on the dark nights. Now you won't kiss me in the sunlight. Last summer, I know you leave me. 'Cause loving me is addicting. Cause loving me is addicting. Cause loving me is addicting. Lost in your mind. I wanna know, am I losing my mind? Never let me go. If this night is not forever, at least we are together. I know I'm not alone. I know I'm not alone. Anywhere, whenever, apart but still together. I know I'm not alone. I know I'm not alone. I know in and touch the sky. A star's light shines on long after it does. Oh, in the night, I live every day as if it's your last. All memories been bright like beacons of the past. Oh, in the night, now we race against the sun. Now we race against the Now we race against the sun. Now we race against the Race against the sun. Now we race against the sun. Race against the sun. Now we race against the sun. Now we race against the sun. Now we race against the sun. Ooh.
Hi, welcome back. Thank you all for being with us during that short break. We are ready to rock into combat. So, how combat works in Dungeons and Dragons is we fall ourselves into a turn order, otherwise known as an initiative order. This is decided by how fast our characters are moving, how fast they react to the situation. There are a few parameters that can alter this. For example, if someone's got the drop on someone else, they may be surprised. In this case, the man is holding a gun at you, pointing directly at your face. He was expecting some sort of movement, so we're going to have a roll off to see what order happens. So how this works, we all roll a d20. Each character then adds their dexterity modifier to that roll, giving us what we can really call an initiative. So for the most part, I would love everyone to give me their orders. I'm going to do a little bit of a roll call, and we'll sort of go through that. So Valig, what was your initiative?
I've rolled a 19.
19, perfect. Fantastic, put you in. We have Noah.
6.
6, perfect.
Robin, just drag the initiative onto the shot as well.
Sure thing. Then we have Belle.
4.
4.
Oh no! I recommend you change your dice.
I just did.
It's fine. It's great. So
Nice.
Crescent, what did you get in the end?
15.
15. Lovely.
Nice.
Then Feeble.
9.
9. 9. No, it's not us. Wrong group. Um, so then we have this individual who got not the best.
But these are the opponent, the 3 people who dropped into the carriage now.
Yeah.
So these NPCs Robin will just roll for. So everything that's trying to kill us, it's basically Robin.
Blame Robin if we die.
Yeah.
I'd rather we
Yes.
didn't.
Or thank her, depending on how
Yeah.
you feel.
Oh, thank
You know, it's
Then we order in descending. And hey presto, we have our initiative order. So first up to act is the sallow, sunken-faced individual who sort of I imagine you've unfortunately done a bad job of hiding sort of that you're going to go for this birth attack. You sort of stood forward, sort of breached past the others, sort of about to inhale, and this sort of smirk appears across his face as he sees you going for this. He pulls a small bead from his necklace and throws it directly at you. So that's going to be a so that's a natural 12 plus his modifier takes him to 18. So
it's
yeah, so the way we decide
Right.
if things hit, each character has an armor class or AC, which is sort of portrayed on their character. For example, Creston, if you look at your character sheet, you'll have like AC and then a number. When you roll to hit, you roll a die to sort of see how good your hit is, and if it's able to sort of catch them, or if they're able to dodge out the way, or if the armor's good enough. So this hits you, is what you're saying, Omar.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
Because
going to
my
say
armor class is 15. So
15. So it's higher than, so it still hits.
Yeah.
Okay, you sort of you sort of hit, and it's immediately like a sort of sound, and it sort of perpetrates around you, and a large spherical, almost casing appears around you in a 10-foot 10-foot sort of point. So we're gonna say it sort of squeezes in. I'm gonna need yeah, Feeble, could you roll a little dexterity saving throw for me to see if you're sort of able to sort of move back far enough? Because I think you'd just in the far corner of the table, you might just be out of it.
Ooh, that's a 6 plus 1.
6 plus 1.
7.
Unfortunately, not. You're caught in this sphere. So I'll just make a little marking on our chart for that. Grab this. Ooh. If I can. Sort of, and it's almost a transparent wall that sort of exists in front of you. It's sort of it seems like a membrane of sorts, but you're not too sure about the specific details. So it should be smaller than that. It's technically 10. So it's like that, and unfortunately you're caught inside. People just unfortunately not able to get away. So then the stout sort of green looking figure that so can do some movement. They're gonna sort of march themselves forward, still smiling, sort of keeping an eye trained on you, sort of holding their hands up in a sort of ready fashion. They don't hold any weapon, and they're very lightly armored, but they seem to be keeping a careful eye on you guys. So the sallow green-skinned creature with a sort of skin point sort of immediately darts around to the other 2 individuals, so the port-bellied man and the other individual, and thrusting 2 knives into their hands, sort of holds one adjacent to each of them, sort of pointing directly, sort of saying, "Don't make any moves." Sort of looking at the 2 of them and sort of continuing in that capacity. They seem to be holding on to their turn, waiting to sort of do something in case anyone makes a movement on that side. Valig, it's sort of up to you. You find yourself encased in this small sphere. What do you do? Sort of like you're wearing up to breathe, but sort of then appears around you in a split second, and you do have a moment to change what you want to do if you do.
Does it to me, what does it actually look like? Is it like a shield?
So
Is it like glass almost?
it's almost like slightly opaque glass, you would say, but it's like sort of it's sort of reverberating a little bit, like a shimmer as well. So it seems to be like a
Can I try and actually move? Let me do the ruler so you can see. Like over here out of the circle.
Sure. So you sort of mantle yourself onto the table, like striding
Yep.
up bits of soup. The copper pipe goes tumbling to the floor and skits under one of the tables. It's very upsetting. And sort of as you get to the exterior of this sort of cube, you push against it, and it sort of seems to be quite solid in its nature, and you don't seem to be able to pass through it.
Right. Can I? I'm gonna hit it with my great axe. I'm gonna hit it. I'm gonna smack the barrier.
Roll to hit.
Cool. Ugh. +7. Right. 14.
14. 14 hits.
Cool. Does it do anything?
Roll damage.
Okay, right. Yes. A d12 plus 5. So every weapon and different spells we use will deal different amounts of damage. And the way that's just kind of decided is with different dice. So I have a great axe, quite a big weapon, and to roll damage, I roll a d12. So obviously really high damage potential, but it does use up 2 hands at the same time. So every weapon and spell has its drawbacks. So that is 11, so 16, because it's +5 because of my strength and proficiency.
Not your proficiency,
No,
but damage.
just strength. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's +5 for some reason.
So
You
yeah,
have a 20 to your strength?
is that counted? Is that when you're raging
No,
by chance?
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe it says
'Cause
+5 slashing. So I'm assuming.
You would add 2 from raging if you were raging, so that might be it.
But it's +4 for my strength. I think it's just.
Oh, you have a +1 axe, I believe.
Yes, that's why. Right. So because of my
Favoritism.
good traveling companion, Bella, I
Yeah.
forget about Bella. You know, like really small, really unnoticeable. So they've made my axe magical, because you know who doesn't want a magical great axe? So my great axe is slightly better than the average great axe. So I deal a little bit more damage with it when it hits. So that is so 16 damage.
16 damage. Slices. Sort of the barrier bursts around you. Good roll. I think for the most
Cool.
part that's sort of as far as it goes, and sort of deteriorates around you. It sort of seems to essence something, and you see the little smirk on the sallow, like sunken faced man's face drops immediately. He sort of looks quite concerned almost.
And can I stomp over towards him as well and
Sure
just kind of
can.
tower over him?
Yeah, 100%. You stand towering over him.
And just a question: when I rage, because I'm a barbarian and I'm a nutcase, so I can just scream and get angry. Do I have to take damage to keep raging? Is that right?
So if you don't take damage between now and your next turn, your rage would have faded in that time.
Right.
It's also
Or
when
if
you
you've made attack.
if you attack. When you attack, it also
It's-
counts.
okay,
so it's whether
so
you
because you've made an
consider the
attack.
attack on the
Yeah,
thing being.
Yeah, I would consider that. So I would say this counted as an attack as well. So you'd be safe to rage if you wanted to.
Right. And I would
Without
just
losing
like to scream right in his face. Saliva and
Yeah.
spit coming out of my jaws. So yeah. And that is the end of my turn. That is all I can do.
Sounds good. So the main figure still holding the gun sort of goes, right, yeah, we seem to have got a few tricks up your sleeves as well. He sort of goes, never mind. Sort of reaches one hand up, sort of holsters the gun, puts his goggles that he had on his forehead over his head, and he sort of lets out a shrill whistle, like a sort of like quite high pitch. I can't quite replicate it in the same way, but these sort of two, you'd almost describe them as machinations. They seem to be almost like a hummingbird, but in a mechanical sense, sort of a metallic bird. They sort of, two of them spring up one on each shoulder, and he says, kill the lights, will ya? And sort of they both fly off his shoulder, and the two braziers hang in the air. Each one has one of these metallic birds going towards it. The first one at the far end manages to hit the brazier, which sort of knocks it to the ground, dismantling it, and sort of quenching the light. And the second one hits the second brazier, Unfortunately, misses, sort of clangs against it, and sort of doesn't quite manage to do that out. But the room is sort of, the back half of the room is plunged into a little bit of darkness, but it's not enough to quell the lights completely. And
Just to check, which half is the back half?
sorry, the compared you, I'm having back compared to where you guys are. So
Okay, so
far
we're at the
side.
front. And
I was counting you guys at the front just because
Yeah,
sort of
cool.
perspective
check.
of you guys. He's gonna sort of take a step back, take another step back, and then this the carrying the nobleman, the one that Belle, you were sort of talking to, he's gonna, I think we have what we need here, and sort of grab hold of them and sort of drag them. Rich sort of pull open the door on the far side and take themselves out outside, and they sort of how far is that they've gone? Different action.
No, my friend.
Cool. So they're going to be about there. They're going to use that to do that. So they're going to go round to there, sort of still dragging them. And they're there. You guys have lost sight of them, sort of as they go out of the door, and they sort of seem to almost reach out to the side, sort of side of the car. It's kind of hard for you to perceive. There's a bit of darkness plunging into as well, and sort of seem to disappear a little bit out into the night. But the room is still lit. You guys can still see. There's still these two other figures in the room with you. Crescent, this brings us to your turn. Now we're going to go into a bit more detail about some of the mechanics here, just to make sure that you understand what you can do and what you can't do. So on your character sheet, there are a bunch of things listed, and it might be a bit overwhelming. So you can do during your turn an action, a bonus action, and utilize your movement. For the most part, those are the three main things you want to do each time. So, for example, some of the spells you have on the further down list, casting a spell, most of them will take an action. Occasionally, there'll be a bonus action. You can only cast one leveled spell per turn, but you can also do cantrips. The cantrips are the 0-level spells as well. So, based on levels, you have some first-level spells and some cantrips in that case, and those are actions to cast, and you can sort of direct them at people, direct them at other things. I would probably recommend using one of them would be a decent way to start us off, and then you can also move yourself. So, do you have any idea about what you'd like to do?
I feel like one that makes the most sense would be to use my frostbite cantrip.
Sounds good. So, who do you want to target?
The the one further back. I think.
Yeah, the sort of creature.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So I believe that is a ranged attack spell. I believe the wording in it is make a ranged attack for frostbite.
Mhm.
So you get to roll a d20, and then you get to add your spellcasting modifier, which for you is wisdom. So you get to add whatever the plus to your wisdom is, and you also get to add your proficiency bonus listed at the top of your sheet, which is a +2. So I believe overall this is going to end up being a +6 to the roll.
And that equals a 9.
Rolling a natural 3, unfortunately, it doesn't quite manage to penetrate the creature. You sort of let off this small little piece ice shard that sort of goes flying towards the creature, and it's sort of looking back, manages to duck out of the way, and sort of hits it at the back of the cavern. As far as your positioning, you're currently on the far side of the table in this corner. Would you like to sort of move yourself at all?
I think I would back up. Seeing
Yeah.
it misses, I would probably be a bit worried in my capabilities and back
Yeah.
up a bit.
Sure, you sort of get to this far corner, and you sort of perpetrate yourself there. Maybe do you want to be closer to the door, or sort of just in the corner?
That is perfect.
That's perfect, fantastic, and that'll be most of your turn. Then we have this person. They're gonna try and do successfully. It's happening off screen, so just doing some rolls. Cool, that happens. Then we go down to this cowering figure, who's the pot-bellied man, who sort of stands up and he goes, "I'll be damned if I'm put in a place by the likes of you." Pulls out a ladle from his shit and sort of lets out a strike at this creature. Which unfortunately the creature sort of just grabs his hand, sort of a smile appears, and it's going to use its held action. It was waiting for one of them to make a move and then try and jab a knife into the guy, which unfortunately does sort of sink into his belly. So he's
Oh no.
And you sort of see his face go pale a little bit, and he sort of keels over onto the floor. He unfortunately falls unconscious due to being stabbed, and he's sort of lying there at the far end. Feeble, that brings us on to yourself.
I am going to like crystallize the dunamis around me and cast Mage Armor on myself.
Lovely. Yeah, there's a glow and sort of this arcanic sort of shift occurs over your body, and you now have the benefits of Mage Armor for the next 8 hours. Would you like to do anything else during the turn?
I don't think I can. Unfortunately, with the spell casting, you're kind of stuck.
At this time, we'd like to move anywhere.
No.
Cool.
I don't want to get close to anything that could hit me if I can avoid it.
Absolutely fine. Sort of going a bit wide eyes. That brings us on to our lovely Warforged friend Noah. What would you like to do?
Can I sort of, having seen the bravest chef I've ever seen in my entire life,
Yeah, he's fucking
Um,
brave as hell.
I'll see that Valig is sort of squaring off with this guy over here, and I'll just sort of shrug my shoulders and think that he's probably got that. So I'll hop up onto the table just to my left.
The table sort of bows a little bit as you stand on it, just your sheer weight. There's soup going everywhere at this point. It's mayhem.
And then I'll step forwards onto the next table. And then onto the table ahead of that again.
Yeah, sure. Just sort
Um,
of across the tables.
and just kind of looking down at this guy. I'll attack him with my axe.
Yeah, roll to hit.
Nat one.
Wish, would you mind just explaining why you went on top of the tables? Would that be okay?
Yeah. So if I can just get the ruler. So I started here, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So had I just walked immediately forward, I would have gone into the attack range of this blonde guy right here. And then I would have subsequently left his attack range. And so when you leave someone's attack range, they can use their reaction to try and swipe at you, basically. It's called an attack of opportunity. So you can sort of avoid that by taking a longer route around a person, sort of skirting around the edge of them, like I did just there, going up on the table. So I wasn't ever in range of a melee attack, so I could get to the guy in the back.
Yes.
But I got a natural one anyway. So I guess I just
Yeah.
swing. I just swing my axe. I just get stuck in the ceiling, and I just kind of look up. And I look back down at him, and I just kind of stand there.
Exactly, because you're sort of looking up and he goes, sort of looks up, like, and it like looking up at the axe, it really is truly a shame because this is about like mere inches away from the edge of the hole. So if like it just been like a moment to the right, it would have come down perfectly, but it's just cut into the ceiling. Is there anything else you'd like to do on this turn?
I'd like to glare at him.
You glare right in his face, and he sort of looks back at you, and he glares. Sort of, it's a mutual glaring. So then going on, we have the lovely Bella. What would you like to do?
Oh, I don't know. The lizard guy.
The lizard, yes.
My dagger.
Your dagger.
Can I possibly throw that at him?
You sure can.
But stay where I am?
Yeah.
So I'm far
I
away.
believe daggers have a thrown component up to, I
They-
think it's 20 foot or 30 foot.
I think it's 2060.
20,
It's
2060.
2060.
Okay, so if you did it from a current distance, it would be a roll at disadvantage. If you wanted to move a bit closer to get within that 20 foot, it would be a normal roll.
I'll roll with a disadvantage.
Sure
Roll
thing.
That is brave with how you've been rolling.
Yeah. Rolling a d20, right?
With
Yes.
disadvantage, sure.
So two
Disadvantage.
d20s, and you
2d20.
would take the lowest. So
Oh yeah, I remember that. Please don't remind me.
when we roll to hit, or really just roll a d20 check in general, some just context will mean that we have a good chance of hitting them. Like maybe our ally is giving us an opening to attack, or maybe the enemy doesn't know we're there, so we get a free shot in, so they're not expecting it. Those kind of contexts can give us advantage. Whereas the opposite can also be true. Maybe they're completely aware and they're ready to dodge it. Maybe they have some sort of enchantment on them that gives them extra protection. and that gives us disadvantage. And if we have advantage, we would roll 2d20 checks and take the lowest roll. Sorry, did I say it? Other way around? If we have advantage, we would roll 2d20 checks, then take the highest, and the opposite for disadvantage, we would take the lowest.
And
So,
if all
yeah.
of this seems a little bit overwhelming with the amount of things we're mentioning about the roles, there's a lot to learn, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
for the most part, you will have someone who knows roles and can sort of help you out during your turn, sort of make sure that things are going smoothly, and eventually you fall in love with the game and you learn all the rules just like us. It's something that happens. So don't worry if you don't pick it up straight away. There's never anyone at a table who ever expects you to always remember every single detail, and friendly people, we can always ask. So that leads me to the dreaded question of looking at you, Bella. So this roll with disadvantage, how did that go?
11.
11, is that including your modifiers? Or was that a natural
Oh
11?
god, that's a natural 11. What
Okay,
other
so
modifiers?
you get to add your dexterity and your proficiency bonus to that.
So
Oh,
it does
yay.
say on your character sheet as well.
I
The
know,
attack. Yeah, there you go.
I did.
Sorry.
Yeah. Attack is +4.
Yes.
What are my
So
modifiers again, sorry?
it's
So
11
it
plus
would be
4.
+4. So 15.
15.
15 hits this creature. So this dagger, sort of swelling back like a wild haymaker thrown across the room, sinks into the creature. Roll me some damage.
Right. What am I rolling for damage? What dice am I rolling?
1d4,
D4.
and add 2.
Add 2, yeah. 8. That was a 6. Add 2.
It's a
Okay.
1d4.
Nice.
How can you roll a 6 on a d4?
Wrong dice. I
There you
fucked
go.
it up. Right, okay, leave me alone. I was
Little
like,
side eye there.
I did think that looked wrong. I was like, that was not a D4. Hold on. 3, add
So-
2. 5.
So just to
5
put
five
this out there,
total.
D6 regular dice. D4
Yeah, okay.
pyramids.
It's okay.
I'm
It's
not
okay.
bad.
We're...
Lighting.
Just so everyone gets to see what, because dice is a big part of D&D. It's nice owning your own dice as well.
Yeah, the dagger sinks
addictive.
into the creature and it sort of kills over a little bit. Yeah, is there anything else you'd like to do during your turn?
I'm good. I will save the rest of my stuff. Like,
Fantastic. That brings us down to the salad.
Oh, wish.
oh, this.
We've lost wish.
Have we
No.
lost wish?
You can keep going. I'll fix it in a second.
Not a
There we
problem. Standard technical difficulties of D&D. Always be ready for them.
Eh.
So the sunken face creature sort of looks at you and sort of looks kind of terrified, if he's honest. You've just broken out of this large defensive membrane he's put up and marched towards him. He's not looking happy about the situation. He is going to. Yeah, he's going to sort of, with a wave of his hands, he's going to cast Misty Step as a spell and sort of teleport himself sort of to the back of the cart behind his creature friend, and then sort of still staring at you, sort of most scared of you, Burn. He's sort of going to sort of let forward, and a burst of flame appears from his hand and sort of travels towards you as he casts a firebolt towards you. That's going to be a 9 total.
That misses. Can
Cool.
confirm.
Sort of hits into the side train. Little bits of fire spark up and flare across the side of the carriage that you're in, and sort of he sort of grimaces a little bit. Sort of like maybe his fear has thrown him off a little bit. That brings us on to this creature who, brandishing its sort of long blade, sort of pulls out very much another serrated one to go along with its dagger. So it now is holding a blade in its main hand and a dagger in its second. It's going to try and swing with its blade against you, Noah. It's going to be 16.
Nope.
16 misses, sort of there's a vibration heard as it just bounces off the sheer metal of your armor. So looking a bit distracted, it's going to try and offhand sort of jam up at you with the dagger. That's going to be 25.
Oh yeah, that'll hit.
You take 1 damage.
It's the metal
I can
intestines.
take that.
Unfortunately, with offhand, you don't get to add any bonuses to it, so it's just like basically the dagger sort of crumples slightly, but there's like a small indentation that occurs sort of in the midst of it, and it sort of just looks. This creature now starts looking a bit worried, like, oh, what have I got myself into at this point? So next in line, that takes us to Valig. What would you like to do?
See, I've just witnessed this cook, this amazing, talented cook,
He made
who
soup for all of
clearly
you.
who clearly made the soup that I was enjoying oh so much, I just saw him get stabbed. Valig is pissed, and
Yeah.
he will immediately jump down off the table, sprint forward, stopping just in front of this reptile thing that stabbed him, and roar right down again. But this time, I would like to use my breath attack, to and aim it to avoid hitting Noah, because
So
I
sort of
I
it
still
would,
like Metal Man.
that kind of cone, we'll say.
Yes,
You happy
yeah,
with that?
please, yeah.
Yeah. So sort of this it's you all hear this roar happen. It sort of reverberates through the entire cabin, and there's an essence of it that sort of tingles in the back of your mind, almost as if you're hearing it not only through your ears, but sort of internally inside your mind. So I believe that's a dexterity saving throw for that.
It is. Sorry. Oh, yes.
Sorry?
Dex saving throw.
Okay, so Lizard Boy, natural 1, so he's gonna fail.
Nice.
Salad facing guy is going to be a natural 15, so 17
That passes.
passes. Okay, so
it's a D10 of damage.
Mhm.
And it's halved for the guy who passed. I don't know which one it was again.
yeah, the salad face.
That's a 10.
Wow.
I always panic when I
good
see
roll.
the 0.
Oh my goodness, yeah. So you shout this across, and the lizard-like creature sort of like seems to curl and sort of grow in discomfort as its very face seems to vibrate, and it sort of, you see some like small like blood trickle sort of coming out of its nostrils and sort of ears that sort of look very familiar. Sort of suddenly you see the disposition of this creature change. It looks very much weakened. It looks sort of on its last legs, and then the shadowface guy also sort of grabs his head in pain, sort of looking out, and sort of just gradually gets to stable himself, and continues on. Yeah, is there anything else you'd like to do? I think you're muted, unfortunately.
Apologies. Can Valig please step up onto this table here
Yeah,
after roaring,
yeah, for sure, 100%.
so that he can get as close to that second guy as well?
Yeah, absolutely not a problem. That brings us to round the still swirling around small mechanical birds, that these tiny creatures sort of still embedded in the lights. Both of them now go for the one remaining light in the cabin. And they do hit both counts. That plus. Yeah, and the second brazier falls and sort of bursts open, and the light is dissipated. Now there's only cool embers, and those of you who don't have dark vision are plunged into darkness and now
Question.
are blinded. Sure.
What about the fire that the guy lit the train up on?
There's like it's a small magical ember. It's still happening. It's not enough to provide light to see things. It's sort of a small spark. You can see where that happened. You can sort of use that as like almost a
Yeah.
reference point. But for the most part, you sort of plunge into darkness with only small beads of moonlight occasionally trickling in through the cabin lights. So you'll all have to deal with that in your own way when you get to that point. Given your positioning, the three of you in the backside of the train, sort of currently looking out and not engaged in combat, could each of you roll me a perception check?
Is this because of the lights? Because I believe that Crescent and I would have dark vision.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. You can still like
okay.
this isn't because of the lights. This is just to try and spot.
Sorry,
something.
I was just wondering whether it was
Yeah,
like
no, not a problem.
12.
And
7.
7. Okay. So
Oh,
Bella, you don't
no.
quite pick it up, but the other two of you, it's more notice of sort of the clunk clunk clunk, sort of the similar metallic sound across the roof, and then you see a brief shadow pass over the hole in the top of the roof, and you see what looks to be a figure or a pair of figures sort of jump across the large hole above your sort of. It's not really a jump because it's more of a glide across, and you sort of see the large opening in the roof. These two figures sort of go and sort of seem to be heading further back towards the other direction of the train, sort of further behind you. And you
Sorry,
become
just
cognizant of that.
just a quick question.
Yeah.
So since we're here, in
Yep.
which, so like the cargo hold, for example, and our like the
Yeah, of
the
course.
original carriage that we were, in which direction is that?
You are standing at the door that leads back to the seating area, and then beyond that, the rooms, and then beyond that, the cargo hold. So that's the door next to you. The other door leads forward towards the kitchen. You've been told.
Okay.
Cool. And yeah, you sort of notice that happen, and that ends their turn. On to Crescent. What would you like to do during your turn now?
Ooh. So what state are the guys in?
So the lizard one, he looks really beat up. He looks like he's not in a good way. He looks sunken. He's bleeding. He's not great. And then the sallow face, he's sort of still clutching his head a little bit. He looks a bit hurt, but not as much.
Okay. I wanna knock this guy down.
Hell
so
yeah.
I might go for my ice knife
Ah, that's a great idea.
and yeah, so I would need to step forward quite a bit, maybe in front of the other two.
I think your ice knife is still a
Oh,
ranged
it's,
attack.
oh, it's yeah, it's 60 feet.
Yeah, so you're
yeah, you're
still in range.
And the other two like aren't in my way, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So what would I need to do?
So this is gonna be another spell attack roll. So you get to roll another d20 and then add 6 to it.
26.
20. So that's a natural
you rolled
20.
natural 20.
Woo!
Let's
Well,
go.
this is even more exciting. Natural 20s are actually quite special in D&D, specifically in combat.
Mhm.
Natural 20 will always hit, and you get to double the damage done. from this
Oh!
weapon. So, against this lizard-like creature that you were trying to take down, Ice Knife, I believe that's a D8?
D10.
D10. Wow. Okay, so you get to roll 2 D10 against, and then sort of that is the damage you do to it.
Oh wow, with a 10 as
17.
well.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
god.
what does that mean?
So how much
That's a
damage have
lot
you
of
done total?
damage.
A 10 and a 7, so 17.
So that's 17 damage that you've done to this creature. Sort of this ice knife sort of rips through this creature, tears it shreds, and it flumps to the floor, completely dead. You've ended this creature's life. It seems to react especially badly to the cold damage of ice knife as well. That seems to do even more damage than you were expecting, and it just tears this reptilian creature to absolute shreds, and it instantly dies. Congratulations, you've killed that creature. It did not get to do much, I'll tell you
I'm a
that.
killer! I'm a killer!
Is there another?
I'm okay with
Hey,
it.
you're a murderer.
Is
There
there another
is-
part of Ice
And
Knife
there
is
that
a
new
second
players
part.
read?
Lade, do you want to
Mhm.
read out the second part of Ice Knife?
What? The part
know
where
where?
it says higher levels?
No. So it's first paragraph, but second sentence. Or third sentence.
First,
Starts
hit
hit
or
or
miss,
miss.
the shard that explodes the target, and each creature within 5 feet of the point where the ice exploded must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or take 2d6 cold damage.
So I'm gonna need everyone within 5 foot of this creature to
Yeah.
make a dexterity saving throw.
Me and Noah.
To be fair,
I'm
to be
just-
fair, he doesn't really know you guys.
That's very
Yeah.
true, yeah.
No,
Thing.
it's
Yeah.
respectable.
Yeah.
I started this shit, so that's fine.
Yeah, like that's a
You
bad
deserve
guy.
it.
I didn't do
down.
anything. I didn't do anything. I just want to help the
So
chef live.
the salad face man only gets to 12, which I believe is a failure, so he takes 2d6.
I was wondering,
Mm.
so the natural 20
Oh, that's a good point.
that applies. I don't know if it applies to this because this is kind of like hit or miss.
Because this is
So would it
hit or miss.
apply?
I'd say it wouldn't
Yeah.
apply because this is just an innate effect of the shell exploding, and it's the actual hit
Okay.
itself that was doubled.
Okay.
I've rolled a 15. Well, I rolled a 13 and then plus 2.
Nice. I
So-
believe your spell save DC is 14.
17.
Nice.
17. So you
Nice,
two
okay.
both pass, so
I'm fine.
you don't take any damage. The other guy fails, so if you could also roll
Perfect.
2d6 of genuinely perfect.
As planned. As
Oh
planned.
my god.
Fully planned.
Yeah, so Crescent, if you could roll 2d6 for the extra damage you do to the other guy.
5.
5? Oh my goodness. Ouch, he looks pretty hurt from that.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, there is also an additional consequence of this.
No.
No.
The
Chef.
unconscious chef
No.
lying on
You
the floor.
murdered an innocent chef.
A small shard of ice. He's
No.
unable to dodge out of the way because he is unconscious. Pierces into his neck, and there's sort of a shift in his unconscious body. He
Is there
slumped
any way I
slightly.
can react to save him?
Well, let me.
No, I don't think there is.
So a hit because he's taken damage counts as a failed death saving throw. Unconscious creatures have 3 possibilities of failure, 3 possibilities of success each time it comes to their round. That is counted as a failure. They took a death saving throw on their turn as well, so they've also had the effect of whatever that roll was. So they also have a failure on top of whatever that first roll was. So they could be on 1 success, 1 failure. They could be on 2 failures at this point. So they could be very close to dying. They could be, come see, come ça. And now we're back round to their turn, and we get to roll another 1 for their point.
I knew I should have used Cure
Okay.
Wound.
Good to know. Good to know. To that person's turn, they do that, and that brings us back round to Feeble.
I'm
Please heal.
going to magic missile the
Awesome.
other guy. So basically, so magic missile is like a traditional old D&D spell that you don't need to roll; it automatically hits. I think it's the only one that does.
I believe so. Yeah. So roll
so-
damage, I suppose. Are all 3 pelts hitting him?
Yep. So
How
all
much
3
damage
hit
is
them.
magic?
1d4 plus 1 per dart, and it's 3 darts at level 1.
Yeah.
Oh,
So 3d4
cool.
plus 3,
So
which is very good.
3 and 4, 7, and then 8, 11.
11.
Points of
Yeah.
force damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll do it. Sort of. How do you imagine these missiles sort of penetrating this guy and sort of ending his life, really, or sort of making him unconscious at the
I
very
just
least?
meant like each one like hitting them on the exact same spot as he like staggers backwards.
Sure, he goes, so eventually, it's like the last one hits him and sort of knocks him back. He actually falls sort of out of the range of view and sort of lies here unconscious on the floor. So I think for the most part, this is where the immediacy of combat ends with that man being unconscious. If there's as far as turn order goes, we can keep following it if you guys would like to, if you would like to do something very fast, but for the most part, there's no one in your immediate vicinity, so if you'd like to take a small pause, you can. It's up to you guys how we want to go from here.
Is he dead?
I would very
he's-
quickly.
He's been knocked, well, he's dead, but he's technically unconscious for now. The lizard creature has been torn to shreds and is instantly dead.
I'm also tempted to kill him.
Technically, it is Noah next, if
Oh,
you guys
Oh,
want to
that's
stay in
true. That's
initiative.
sorry.
Oh,
I would
can
like
we?
to. I'd like
Oh.
to very quickly, because I can't see anything right now. It's just pitch black.
It is just
I would
pitch
like
black.
to very quickly just try and carefully step down onto the bench
Yeah.
and then splash into the soup-covered floor, and then feel around in the soup-covered floor for the big pot-bellied chef and try and see if I can
Sure.
find him.
Give
Dying
me
in the soup that he
a.
made.
It's gonna be a free action, but you can give me a little investigation check. We're gonna say it's fairly easy because you knew where he was. But we're gonna say DC 10.
7.
Unfortunately, sort of stumbling around the soup, but you get a bit disorientated in the darkness. You're unable to find him. You're not really sure exactly where he is. You still have an action if you want to sort of continue the search. We'll use up your action to do so for another chance at it, but maybe that'll work.
I mean, there's nothing that I could do if I did find him. Then
Mhm.
can I just kind of guessing that unless I just randomly find him, he's probably just gonna die. Can I just like jam my hand out in a random direction that I think is where he is and try and lay on hands wherever my hand lands?
Okay.
You're 1 hit point.
Sure. You charge. Yeah. You know what? Cool. This sounds like a great idea. So, sort of trying to go out. Let's do, because you sort of have a vague direction of where he is. We'll do another 50-50. So we're gonna say roll a percentile. 0 to 49. We'll have it as that. That's the boundaries you're looking for.
I'm rolling the boy.
Oh no, are you rolling
And the big boy.
the big one?
60.
unfortunately, that's outside the range. So you sort of and dispel a point of healing into the dead corpse of the fish thing,
Oh,
which is
no.
completely dead. It doesn't even reanimate. It wasn't unconscious. You did enough damage to kill it completely outright. So unfortunately, it just doesn't have an effect.
Well, I'll sort of
Um,
grab onto the leg of the fish creature and probably not realize that that's the fish creature and not the chef, and then go, ah, saved him. And then I'll stand back up and I'll start walking to where the other guy got abducted to.
Cool. So you sort of get yourself sort of over to here. The doorway is open, sort of being out into the light. You sort of, do you want to step out into the onto the like gangway between the points? Sure. We'll give you a little more vision then. Nope. It's a weird square over there, but you can have that as well, I guess.
If we could scroll slightly up on the battle cam.
Yeah. Sort of make your way out. There's a large metal door in front of you, similar to the ones you've seen, and it is closed shut. And yeah, this is all you see for the most part.
I'll sort of spend a moment, out of combat, see if anyone wants to do anything.
Yeah, sure. I think.
Is
but-
the chef okay?
Is there
Did he make it?
any way I could reach the chef?
Yeah.
Can I reach the chef?
Do you have dark vision?
No, I don't think so.
Unfortunately, I don't think you know where this creature is.
No, I want to make cure.
I'm gonna. So unless someone has an urgent plan to, I will roll their last death saving throw.
No.
Be transparent with you guys. If they've had 2 failures and 1 success so far. If anyone has a
Boy.
way they can do it.
Can we guide Bella? Because we have dark vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Do one of you have healing at all?
No, I think that's
I
fair.
have
If you guys want to sort of work together, you can sort of get over to the cause. I think that's fairly reasonable. Given the distance, it will take more than a turn to get there, so he will still have to do 1 save. That current plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna go for.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, with the guiding, it will be possible. It all depends on. So if he rolls a 1 through 9, he will fail, and it will be his 3rd failure. If he rolls a 10 plus, he will succeed, and you guys will get to him in time. So it's going to be a very important roll.
Right.
It's a 15. You guys make
Okay.
it.
Fine.
Right.
We didn't murder the chest. That's a
Yeah.
great start.
Sort of get there. Are you pumping a cure wounds into him?
Yeah, I'm pumping the cure wounds into him.
Cool. He It's pretty dark in here. Sort of looking around.
I'm assuming then we'll be like,
does he even see, fella? You just wake up in the
No,
dark.
he's-
Am I dead?
He's a human. He doesn't have dark vision. He's no idea what the fuck's happening.
Better just pat him on the head.
So
Like,
yeah, so taking
Nice.
this moment sort of out of combat, so to speak, you sort of gain a moment to review yourself. Does anyone have any way they can sort of shed light on the area for everyone to see?
I'm gonna just stomp on towards Noah. See if we can follow that guy.
With darkness in the moonlight. Sure. If you're just going out, you sort of you and Noah sort of connect on the gangplank. It's pretty freaking dark out here. That you can sort of make the outline of the door. There's the moonlight streaming in. It's hard to see a few things, but you guys are there. I mean, depends what you guys want to do. What you guys want to like.
Is there?
I'll leave the plot. I'll take us out of initiative for now. So we're currently not in initiative, just so you guys know. So if anyone wants to interject, say anything, do anything, just let me know.
You said there's light on the other side of this door, though.
There's moonlight shining in. That's sort of where the reflection comes from. Looking out, sort of to the sides, you can see like a brief smattering of light across the hillside. That sort of seems to be coming out. So just where there seems to be light echoing out from the cabin ahead of you. You imagine it's fairly well lit on the far side.
Okay, I'll put away my axe and I will take out a torch.
Lovely. You use your action to light a torch. It sort of sheds light in, I think it's like a 20-foot radius, sort of bursts into dark lightness you can all see now.
But all of us can see.
Well,
You can see within the torch area, and you can see the beacon coming from the torch, basically.
Just a question: how much? What's the range on the torches light again?
I think it's like 20-foot bright and then 20
the
foot
rest dim.
Oh,
Yeah, I think so.
so 10 bright, 10 dim. So it takes us throughout
Oh
there.
God. Okay. Right. That's fun.
Can-
I'm gonna
By
do
the
the
way,
same.
guys, I think some people went the other way as well.
The other way is in behind us.
Yeah, well, like some people went running on the
Oh
ceiling.
yeah, the Matthias guy. He got kidnapped, didn't he?
Yeah, but like he got kidnapped that way, but then some people came running on top of the ceiling that way. Or at least I heard the steps going that way. So what do we do? Do we just continue to try and find Matthias, or are we concerned about the people coming behind us? Please, no one suggests to split the party on the first session.
Can we split the party?
Do you think they
No.
kidnapped Mateus as a distraction to get us all to go to that side of the train when whatever they want is actually on this side?
Well,
No.
we don't know, other
They-
than the kitchen, we don't know
they
what
need-
is on the other side.
The door.
They need the man to go through to the restricted sections.
That is true.
We need to get him. We get him. We go to the metal door, and we can go see what's there.
We take their shit.
We take it. We're rich.
You truly are the brains of the pair. I think we should try and focus on getting Mateas, and then if we can't find him, we'll just go back and check where the other people were going.
Wonderful.
Completely up to you guys.
Oh,
So you guys are making your way back the way you came, sort of towards the seating area.
I want to go where did Matthias get kidnapped to? He went up,
Mateus,
no?
Mateus got kidnapped. The guy disappeared out this door. You lost sight of him. Then I believe it was Crescent and Odell sort of heard a clanging on the roof and saw a shadowy figure sort of go across in the moonlight.
yeah,
Oh,
you just
so
took
he-
him on the roof, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
Malik
I'm glad we
very
got there
confidently
eventually,
went.
everyone.
He must be that way. There's no possible way. Looking around, he went any other way, so he must be that way. Let's go.
Can I put my hand on Valig's shoulder and go, "Come on the roof with me," and try and play
Hey.
one.
It's very forward.
Lovely. Yeah. Do you guys want it? So they're like looking at there. It seems to be some sort of precarious metal, sort of like almost like rungs dug into the side of the train that sort of you could use as a foothold to get up. Is a bit precarious, and the train's moving at a very high speed. You're welcome to sort of attempt to do so.
So for
we
everyone
fall
watching,
off?
if your DM is saying things like "you could do this," a bit precarious, if you want to attempt it, that means that you shouldn't be doing this.
You're more than welcome
Yes.
to try.
They say, are you sure?
What? Why would we? Why?
Because then we'll know exactly where they went down, because they'll have to cut another hole, won't they?
But we would see the hole. Down. We just look up.
What if we can't get through a door?
We have the chef.
Oh wait, can he get into restricted places as well?
He's the chef.
He
He's the
can
most
get-
important person on the train. Of course, he can get into important places.
Alright, well, good thing I saved his life. Let's head on.
yeah, you did it.
Perfect.
Oh my
Gonna
gosh.
riot soon. Bella's literally gonna throw a dagger at somebody. On
Cool, so
that
you
note,
guys regroup back in this point with the chef.
can I
Yeah.
can I just say that Bella grabs her dagger and can she infuse it? No,
You have to do
shit.
so during a long rest, I'm
Nice.
afraid.
Take
Okay.
away my magic axe.
I'm not taking your attack. Anyway, can she pick up her dagger and actually start heading back towards the cargo hold?
Yeah, you start heading that way. I
Yeah.
guess.
Hey, kid. Hey,
No.
where are you going?
Can I stop her?
I'm just gonna jog on.
Sure can attempt to.
Jog to catch up. Like you can't.
That's going to be a grapple check. So can I get an athletics check from Crescent, and then either an acrobatics or athletics from Bella.
Which do I roll?
So roll a d20, and then you get to add your athletics bonus to it.
Okay, that's a 9. Athletics. Uh-oh. That's a 10.
20.
That
No!
Yeah, barging past, sort
Mm.
of opening the door and sort of
Ah.
disappearing beyond. Bella goes on ahead, so it seems.
I'm gonna
How
jog
come-
after like, hey kid, where are you going? Oh, we didn't take the chef. Oh, it's fine. I didn't take the chef. I'm too distracted by Bella.
What are the rest of you
Little
doing as
business
they charge ahead?
I will slowly and
Um.
respectfully help the chef up on, and then
Can I apologize to the chef?
Apologies. I think he killed it. I wouldn't apologize for that. It's a good job. Oh, it sort of lifts up and there's like a massive shard of ice in his side, and it's sort of just profusely like stuck. It sort of goes, oh.
None the wiser.
Lovely.
No, thank you for understanding.
Oh, I mean, he sort of kicks the little creature. Fucking gutted me. I appreciate it.
If everyone is moving down, I'll start like making my way down.
yeah.
Save
Way
steps.
downtown.
You should come with us.
Yeah, can we all follow
Oh,
Bella?
I don't want to drag the dead guy.
What
Why is
happened?
everyone following me?
It's like a cadaver floating behind us.
I mean, you're my payday. I kind of have to follow you.
Is
Well-
Crescent, are you going with them?
Yes.
Yes. Grand. Yeah, you can all
Shouldn't-
drag. You can all drag yourselves as well.
How do you drag yourself?
So if you click on the top left, the select option, then you can click on your token and you should be able to move it around. I'll double check that I've given you permission for that. I have not. That's why you can't.
That's why I
That
can't.
is. So let's do that now.
I kind of
Crescent,
before I
save
leave,
settings. Now you should be able to.
before I walk along with everyone else, I sort of lift the chef's ladle up off the floor, and
Yeah?
place it into his hand, and kind of wrap his fingers around the ladle, and I go, "You're coming with us," and then
Oh,
I start
no.
walking.
Am I?
Good luck with the chef.
I'm fucking going. There's been an incursion, lad. I gotta go on the other side.
I'm
I'm
already
not.
walking.
May I move my token?
Yeah, of course you can.
Thank you.
The chef does not follow you. He is fucking hurt, and he does not want to be part of combat.
I don't really notice.
I just
Can,
want to cook.
can Valig hurriedly run back? Oh, I forgot you, and pick up the chef.
Oh no.
Can I
Poor
pick
guy.
up the chef? Come on. I'm still raging. That's called.
Roll me an athletics check with advantage.
So 12
Yeah,
and 4. So that's like.
cool. You scoop the chef up, and he's like, let me down, let me down, and he sort of like hurries along sort of a little bit. Yeah, you have the chef.
Jog back to where everyone was going.
Cool. You're gonna be behind everyone a little bit now.
That's fine.
So continuing on. Bella, you are leading the pack. Sort of as how do you want to continue on?
When she gets into the cargo hold, she
Okay, we're going that far. Okay,
yeah,
bear
we're,
with me. It's
we're going right into the cargo
Okay,
hold.
it's a bit fast. You'll have to follow us down, and to our lovely tech support. Apologies for the rapid moving, but I will hopefully make it obvious where we are.
And as her little feet like very quickly run because she realizes there are a lot bigger people running behind her,
Mhm.
she takes out. Was there bread served with the soup? Please tell me yes.
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 Sure.
Right. She pulls right. She goes to the cage.
You're not quite in the cargo hold just yet.
When she gets in there.
Okay, we'll need to bear with for a moment then, because
Okay.
we do have a small obstacle before that happens.
No.
If everyone wants to move themselves, into this corridor down here, sort of down at the bottom of where you can all see. This is the corridor. This is the corridor you've been told is where your accommodation is. There's a lot of closed doors sort of fanning this corridor. So yeah, you're able to really sort of do whatever you wish in here.
Could I get perms to move the chef because I'm carrying him?
Ooh,
For now.
please do not abuse this use of the chef, but sure.
Is the chef fighting, or is he just like, yeah, this is fine?
Yeah, good point. He's gonna try and struggle it. Give me another athletics check with advantage. Nope, he rolled a 3. Never mind.
This poor man.
He's being abducted by you guys. You guys are no better than than these guys who have come in.
We've kind of just like ditched Matthias as well. I feel kind of bad.
I don't know this guy. He can do what he wants.
I mean, I had a semi conversation with him.
Cool. You sort
Very
of
one-sided.
you continue out into the gangplank next to the cargo hold, and the cargo hold door is locked. It appears. Sort of, you try the handle, it doesn't seem to move. You remember before when you were taken here by our good old friend Vastafar, he was able to sort of place his hand sort of with a select key and sort of unlock it in that capacity, but it is an unlocked door currently. Oh, sorry, a locked door currently.
I'm gonna pop down. I'm gonna like, you know, move out the way.
With
Come
the
on,
chef on your
Get out.
shoulder.
Get out. I got the chef.
Oh my god. This poor man.
Okay,
I'm gonna press the
Oh,
chef
yeah.
against the door.
Oh my god!
Just gently, not like hard, but just like kind of like you know, just as if he's a key.
Hit the door with the chef.
Open.
Open sesame.
Bella just speaks in very angry Draconic. Not like that, you absolute buffoon.
Well, how would you do it? You pick him up.
Chef's on your shoulder. Oh, I've lost some. Who did I lose? There they are. Nope, that's a lantern. Someone
Nice.
there's someone else?
Oh,
I'm so
the chef
confused.
is gone.
No, the chef's
Okay.
here. So you're here. Chef's on your
Bella's
shoulders.
gone. Where's Bella?
Bella's gone. But Bella is apparently there. She is. You can be-
Bye!
I'll have it like this. Gotcha.
Lovely.
Cool. So holding the chef in one arm, I imagine, getting to the door. You're on this small gangway. The whirling wind going past you. The dead of night, crouching out on either side. Yeah. I mean, like how? So how do you want to press the chef to the door?
Like
Oh my
butt
God.
foot. Just like press his butt against it. You know?
You sure do that. You press his butt against the door, and
There's an opening.
it's just, what are you doing? What's going on?
The door's meant to
Put
open.
me down. Yeah, put me down.
Are you gonna open the door?
Just put me down.
Where?
On the ground.
I'm gonna plop him on just in front of me, in front of the door.
Sure, he sort of takes sort of a metal component, places it into the door as a and sort of the door you hear like a as it sort of unlocks. He sort of looks at you, says, "Can I fucking go now?"
I'm gonna pick him up again.
Oh no!
Okay, roll me an athletics check with advantage.
18.
Yeah, fine, cool, great. You pick him up.
Let's go.
Can I persuade him to let him go?
No.
No.
I mean, you can try, I guess. Like, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's always
It's up
check.
to you. It would be up to you on sort of what.
I'm walking through though, so you're gonna have to walk with me while I'm going. We talk as we walk.
Yeah, just let the chef go. He just wants to cook, guy, man.
So you all get into the chamber. It's a bit different from how you left it. There's a few things thrown aside. Looks like there's a bit of a scuffle in here. And as you go further into the cargo hold, you find Vastafar lying on the ground in a pool of blood with a single, looks like gunshot wound through his chest.
Can I ignore Rustafar and go to the cage?
Oh my
You-
fucking god!
Can I
You
heal
sure
him?
go to the cage.
Can I drag Noah with me?
Noah, do you resist this grabbing and dragging?
I mean,
Little girl grabs your metal
I think
hat.
he would find it more like a child like asking for help with something, so he would just kind of like walk along.
It's not wrong.
While they're doing that, can I heal Rustifer with healing word?
Sure, you use healing words, sort of you speak out some melodies of the ocean that sort of they sort of swirl around, and you sort of see a small glow. Then they don't seem to have an effect. It appears that Rastafari is not just unconscious; he is well
Oh,
and truly
no.
gone from this world.
See,
No.
if you weren't with us, this would be you. Just gonna pat him on the butt while he's like over my shoulder. Now come on, let's open this other metal door.
I would love if you were to unhand me. So, Bella, you go over to the cage.
Yeah, and I just kind of grab some bread out of my pocket. And it was a goose in there, right?
There sure is a goose in there.
Can I just like break the bread in half, give one half to
That-
Noah, and just feed the goose?
You haven't seen much of the common language, so the big words that say "do not feed," "do not let go,"
Oh yeah, no,
they
she
don't really
cannot
register
read
on
that.
you, very much. And you throw some bread into the cage, cause yeah. Just let me figure out what happens here.
Is this goose gonna turn into a Ghidra? Is that what's happening?
The return of the Ghidra.
The return of the Ghidra.
Bear with me. I need to find a token for this.
Oh no!
Um,
Oh no!
What have I done? I just wanted
You've
to
awakened
feed
the big
goose
bad
with
of the whole
Noah.
campaign.
I just wanted to feed the goose with Noah and make friends.
there we go. So the goose sort of looking there and sort of quickly snaps up the bread and sort of takes it into itself, and you sort of see it ruffle a little bit, and then out of its back there's a set of wings emerge from this goose's back, and sort of looks at all of you and sort of goes, "Ha!" and sort of like headbutts the cage, which then falls apart and sort of flaps these sort of very scaly wings for a goose. And going forward, it's gonna try and bolt towards the open door behind you guys. Is anyone gonna try and stop it?
No.
I'll try and stop it. It's running past me.
You would have to let go of your chef to do so.
I'll pop him. I'll pop him like to the side next. Like I don't no, not there. Out of the geese's way, but like
body.
not so he can't. No, yeah, there. So he can't
Cool.
run past me. If that makes sense.
Cool. Give me a athletics check.
12 plus 6, so 18.
You do not manage to catch the goose. It skits past you.
Oh.
Either Crescent or Odell, do either of you want to stop it?
I'm just gonna step to the side and let it fly free.
The goose runs past. The goose runs past, sort of into the open door, and you see, like those of you looking, you see it sort of jump out and flutter away into the night.
Well,
Bless it.
that's somebody else's problem. Let's open this next door.
So these ones.
Or the one that he bent.
Was that the one that he bent? The one that was like closed
Yes.
that didn't have.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
getting close to it, you see that actually, the hinges of this door seem to have sort of almost been corroded or been rode away. And the first one of you to touch the door does, it sort of falls away. It seems like this door has been dealt with and made permanently accessible, and you guys sort of are able to walk through.
Did Rustafar have a shield?
Vusva does have a shield, yes.
You're gonna take
Can
a
I
sheet.
take the shield and
Taking a
put
shield
my
out of a
arm
dead
around the
man's
chef
body.
while he's still holding his ladle, and I will give him the shield, and then I'll put my arms like on his shoulders, and I'll go, with this ladle in hand, we'll retake this train, and I'll start walking forwards.
Cool. So you guys feel free to arrange yourselves in these squares, sort of as you enter. Oh, thank you. As you enter the room, obviously in the corridor, sort of in whatever capacity you do, you see the bearded figure from before, sort of gun in hand, sort of obviously has heard you coming, heard the commotion with the goose, sort of pointing the gun at Mateus, and there's a smile across his face, and he says, "You know, you could have just made this easy for me. Would have saved me a lot of hassle." And sort of still pointing the gun at Mustafa, sort of pulls out a small metallic device from his hands, and there's a small click and sort of like and you hear a small, a sort of a large explosion sound happening from the far end of the train back from the way you came. That sort of reverberates, and you feel a shudder through the verge of the train. Taking in this room, you sort of obviously see himself. There's a large metallic safe behind him, sort of chained up and attached to the walls. It's the only thing in this room. And as the reverberations happen, the chains reverberate with the entire cabin and shackle and shake. And slowly, he sort of, my smile goes and goes, "It's gonna be one hell of a ride." And then smiles, and that is where we will end things for tonight.
Oh my god.
So yeah, let me quench this music that is slightly repetitive, and I'm sure will be
Oh, it was really good
Oh
music.
my
It's so
gosh.
tense.
Yeah,
Oh.
like, it's definitely adding to that feeling of like, oh god, we're about to die.
Yeah. That was
No, we're not. We
amazing.
have the
Fisher.
chef.
can you help me turn off the music? Because I'm struggling still.
I
Oh my
will.
God.
Wish, could you just disconnect it, please? Would that be okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Really upset the goose was gone.
So,
Fantastic. Well, thank you